it's hard for a lot of people to comprehend if you're not already in alignment on it or understand where I'm coming from it. I really receive and appreciate the space that you asked for me to talk more about my dream, about talking on stage. I don't get an opportunity to express that as much. And also having all these successful tentacles out there. I think that's wildly important for people to know that you can show up here barefoot with your toenails painted, chilling, and with cookies bacon with your wife and your daughter in the next room.
Yep.
And just that, anyone that's wanting to live that kind of life, you can live it. He's living it right now. And I think that's really important to draw attention to. So that's like the real thing that people talk about. But dude, we get to live that right now.
We do.
We're living it like in the flesh.
Yeah.
Like this isn't theory. This is reality.
I hope you're all ready. Grab some popcorn, relax, kick back, and enjoy the show. So from the beginning, is this something for you that has been like, was it your family? Did you grow up this way? Like, what was the catalyst to move you in this direction of this mindset, intentionality, reprogramming the brain before we get into all the AI business talk and all that stuff?
Right. Let's bring it back. So, I'm unemployable. I'm sure you've heard that before, right?
Hey, me too.
Yeah. I lovingly mean that. I like to know why I like to do things my own way. I come from a Sicilian family. We moved out here from Boston in 1998. I was still in the middle of high school.
Wow.
I didn't realize it at the time. I was completely depressed. But we didn't talk about that back then, And
feelings, what's that?
Right. And so I was we're really passionate Italians, okay?
I'm Italian, Romanian as well.
Okay, there you go.
Let's go.
And so passionate. But I didn't understand that as a child. And I didn't understand the heart behind the passion that I was receiving. As a parent, I do now. And there's been a lot of healing journey through it, right? But when I started my very first business, Norman, I was doing it, and I love talking about this evolution. And I love that you have a long podcast because we can.
You don't have to rush anything, right?
I think it's important for people to understand all that, right? Like, where are you in business right now? And so when I first started, I was starting as a means to an end. I was going to ASU. I was living at my parents' house. And they wanted to put a curfew on me. And I wanted to go out karaokeing with my boyfriend.
Boundaries. No, thank you.
And now as a parent, I understand that. But, back then it was like, as if, right?
Yeah.
And so this lady I babysat for had a friend with 2 dogs, and she was like, "Hey, I'll pay you $25 a night. Can you stay at my house like 4 nights a week?" I was like, "I'll pay you." Like,
what?
Just like solve the problem.
That's
right?
so cool.
And so I started doing that, and then my parents were like, I would put on the refrigerator, like, "Were you home or away?" Because they didn't know whether I was coming or going. But I had all this freedom, and so being a natural born entrepreneur, and like it's my grandfather owned a toy store. My dad had a painting business at one point. My cousins have their own businesses now.
Yeah.
I didn't know this about me though. I had no idea. I was doing it out of pride.
Yeah.
I was like, they told me you couldn't do it.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Watch
me. I love that.
That became apparent when I found out that I was Enneagram 8, which is a challenger.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this makes so much sense. But I started that business, and as I graduated, my parents were like, you have to get a real job. And I was like, okay. But again, I understood, like, so that was the way I interpreted it. A real job. Like, what I'm doing is real.
Yeah, what do you mean?
And they were like, well, you need health insurance. And at the time I thought that only someone at like a corporation could. I didn't know I could get it on my own.
Yeah.
Right.
Just pay
So
for it.
I got up at like 4 a.m. I went to Starbucks at 5. I opened them. I rocked drive-through. My pet peeve is very slow drive-through. And then I would go and pet sit, and I would do all these pet sits.
Yeah.
And I grew it to a 10-employee, 6-figure company.
What?
In Scottsdale. Yeah. And so, and along the way, that was like when I was early 20s. By the time I was 25, I was nationally and locally award winning.
What?
And
Okay.
people started asking like, how do I do what you do? And so I started coaching them.
Okay.
So to go back to I say all that to say, when I started coaching people, I got this like, it was so feeding my ego. I was like, I'm not a product. of what I grew up in. I felt like it was like
Let's go.
it was and again, now as a healed like adult, right? Like cuz there's like the little girl in me who just felt like, you know, under the gun and like oppressed. And it was all true during then, but I didn't realize that I was trying to prove myself. And that's where that kind of got ingrained. So I was performing, right? To the point that I was in DC Ranch one day and I had my booth set up and I had my t-shirt on and I had my like, you know, my big banners up. And my dad came up and he goes, "Hey kid, this is a real business. I'm proud of you."
What?
And I started crying in the middle of this entire thing. Like, I just
Wow.
started crying. And I was like, I think it was my first realization that I was looking for outward validation, right?
Yes.
That I couldn't give myself.
Yes.
But I didn't cognitively know that. I just knew that that was a turning point. And so when I started coaching, it was like, hey, like I'd get on the phone with someone. It was dollar for time at first. And people were like, oh, can I? They're like, hey, that worked. I was like, no kidding, it worked.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't talk just to talk, you know?
Yeah.
And then they were like, this is amazing. It's changing my life. It's allowing me to go on vacation. It's like all these things. And I had this great source of pride that I was like, look at what I did. Right. So it's still outside of me. And it was still that I was only as good as my client. Right.
Yeah.
But it was a high for me. I was really, really excited about it. And it's just part of the whole journey, you know, like why we do things. And so I was coaching and it was in the specific niche. It was in the pet sitting and dog walking industry. I was a general coach in that industry.
All from just that one house and that one opportunity.
For sure. For sure. It's because you like, I always believe in you can walk through any door. You should walk through every door because you can turn around and walk out the same exact way. But everyone's always paralyzed in fear just to walk through these doors because of the unknown or like we don't have the information or what if I make a mistake?
Yep.
Like I'm constantly teaching my daughter that now. Like we've finally gotten in the stage where we're playing PS5.
Oh, there you go. Let's go.
We're into Sackboy and
I love it.
Gets so angry when she dies. And I'm like, she's like, I can't do this. I'm like, stop saying that. Your brain does not know the difference, you know?
Yep.
And so I use like PS5 as a training ground just for her to try to reprogram those
oh my God.
things, you know?
Yes.
And I'm like, no, and I died. I was like, I'm so excited. I just died. I just learned how not to do it. And I learned some things that worked. We got like the orbs, you know?
Yes.
And so it's really crazy. We'll get to that, but like the mirror that she's been in my life, as I'm sure Jordan has been for you, you know, like you get to reparent yourself, but that's way down the line.
Definitely on the wife's side. So she's feeling a little bit more than me because that's her mini me.
Oh,
but
my
yeah,
goodness.
I see it.
Yeah, that happens. So I'm doing all this stuff and I'm coaching. I'm becoming Bella the Bee, or people are binging on Bella. And it's because without knowing it, like at first I thought I was always like this bull in a china cabinet, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And I was just very bold with stuff. But the thing is I would say the quiet part out loud. And I would do it from love, not to like degrade anyone, but I would ask the questions that like made people really uncomfortable.
Yes.
So what happens when we get uncomfortable? We put our walls up and we get defensive, and it's your fault because I don't want to look at myself. Right. And so that was another like crazy struggle. And we can go deeper on any of this, but like, because I was like, oh, wait, I am too much. I'm too much. I'm too loud. A lot of things that I know your listeners have also felt. I mean, this is a common theme with everyone. We've just figured it out at different stages of life. And I believe that my businesses have always been a direct mirror to me.
Yeah.
Because whatever I struggle with in business is essentially what I struggle with personally, right? Because it's the same person.
Lift off moment there.
Thank you.
Look in the mirror.
We are the same person, and we want to blame the people we hire, or we want to blame the contractor or the website or the AI or the or. But really, like, we need to take responsibility for what part we had in it, right? I learned that it's not that it doesn't work, it just doesn't work this way.
Yeah.
And so there's all these things that just kind of kept evolving. So anyways, do you want me to keep going?
You're good. Yeah.
Okay. I could talk about this stuff forever. So I'm coaching and I'm doing time for dollar, and I'm also dating everyone on match.com that's over 6'2" in Scottsdale. And I'm not even kidding.
All right. Keeping it real.
I'm 5'8". I always wear heels, so I'm usually like 6 foot when I'm out. Like, I'm tall.
Yeah.
And It was it was after years of market research. My ex-husband found me, and
Wow.
we were both eager to, get married, start a family. We're like, okay, you're good, I'm good. Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
And it was beautiful. We were very much in love, and we got engaged pretty quick. We
Mm-hmm.
had our wedding pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
We had a successful honeymoon in Rome,
Wow.
and came home pregnant.
Wow. There you
So,
go.
like I said,
Very
successful.
successful. Yeah. Congratulations on that lift-off moment.
But I said these infamous words. As soon as
Hmm.
I found out I was pregnant, I stood in my living room, I'll never forget it. And I said, God, why do I have to wait 9 months to meet my child? Like, I just wanted to be a mom. I
Mm.
had this thought that, like, okay, I was building this pet sitting company, and I started doing coaching on the side.
Yep. Yep.
And but like my best job would be a wife and a mom, because that's what I was
Mm.
told my whole life.
Can you relate?
That's what my job is supposed to be, right?
Yep.
I didn't understand my magic, my talents, my alignment. I didn't understand any of that yet. I just knew that
Mm.
it felt so good. And so I have my husband. We have our first house. We're pregnant. And so we found out the end of January. And my due date was in
Okay.
October 10th.
Okay.
And it's Memorial Day now, so it's May. And I
Mm.
get on the phone with my OBGYN, and she's like, you need to get to the hospital right now. And I was like, why?
What?
And she's like, you're about to stroke out. I'd never been in the hospital ever before in my life, so I was terrified.
Yeah.
An hour later, I'm all hooked up. There's like hydralazine in my veins. I had no idea at the time. They're not showing me the numbers. I'm looking at the foot of my bed, and my mom, my dad, and my husband are all there. And I'm like, oh shoot, this must be really like
Yeah.
serious, right?
Yeah.
And it was from that moment on that I realized it wasn't going to be a normal pregnancy. I
Ah.
realized that my amniotic fluid every single week was getting lower and lower. And amniotic fluid, for those who don't know, because why
Mm-hmm.
would you know unless you've had a kid?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the liquid that they swim around in.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
what helps keep them alive.
Mm-hmm.
And the placenta is like the life pack.
Yeah.
And my placenta, we found out afterwards, was also like slowly dying.
Oh shit.
So you've got this like little tiny bean in you, and they're like, it's not really growing, or you're growing like an ounce every couple of weeks, maybe.
Whoa.
Your amniotic fluid's going down. They're like, nothing, this isn't going to be a viable pregnancy. And so
Oh.
they're kind of telling me that by 24 weeks, you need to abort or not, but not with those words. But they're like, let's say you have this baby, this child's going to be like, you're going to have to get a van that, holds a wheelchair. If you have any other kids, that kid's only going to have one parent, because one of you is going to be the permanent caretaker. And you know what?
Mm.
My ex was amazing. I really
Mm.
believe we were brought together to bring this child into the world. Spoiler alert, she's 11 years old now.
Let's
But
go.
from Memorial Day until July 4th, I remember getting called into what I call the principal's office.
Mm.
That was like the last go. They're like, okay, we're gonna have this baby. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we are.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, well, we need to set a date, because we can't just have you crash out and go to the
Mm.
hospital. And then like they literally had to bring in, I call them utensils. It's the totally wrong word, but
Mm.
like, the things in the operating room to
Yeah. Yeah.
resuscitate her. And,
Mm-hmm.
you couldn't just, it wasn't normal baby size. So she
Mm-hmm.
came out at 12 ounces, the
Interesting.
size of a soda can.
Wow.
My ring fit, like her leg fit through my ring.
Oh
That's how
my
tiny her ring was.
God.
She was an inch shorter than a Barbie doll. She was 10 inches. I
Wow.
couldn't hold her for 3 weeks. Her eyes didn't open for 3 weeks. She was basically a fetus. She was like
Mm.
translucent. And everyone's also like, great, she's alive now, but don't get too attached, because they have a
Mm.
honeymoon phase and then they crash and they die.
Mm.
Well, we spent 182 days in NICU.
Wow.
And I was lucky enough to have that pet sitting company that already had systems and processes in it. I had an office manager. I had things flowing, and someone that I could turn off to, so that I could be at NICU every day for 8 to 10 hours a day.
Wow.
I always kind of joke around that, like, how would you love it to know that every day you came to work, I was sitting there? Like, I would get in
Mm-hmm.
trouble because I'd be like turning down the machines of the oxygen, because I'd be like, oh my God, we could start weaning her off of oxygen. Like she stayed
Mm-hmm.
at this one
Mm-hmm.
stat. I couldn't run my business. When I was pumping milk in the pump room, that was about the only time I could be on the phone, because you're in baby ICU.
Mm.
I would walk in and you could just feel the feeling of death.
Ugh.
Babies would die and everyone's holding their breath, or something would be going on. The nurses can't tell you, but you could feel it.
Mm.
Um, It was absolutely crazy.
Wow.
I was living minute to minute, hour by hour. They say with medical trauma, it's one of the worst because it's not like a bomb goes off, or not to, say one is worse than the other, but
Yeah.
it's not a car accident where it happens and then it's just one accident.
Mm-hmm.
It's medical trauma where you're asleep, where your defenses are
Mm-hmm.
down, and you get a call and they're like, "Hey, we had to resuscitate your child."
Mm.
Or they come in and they say, well, we can't get a PICC line in her, so we're going to put a Broviac in her neck and then right here.
Mm-hmm.
And the surgeon has to do it while she's on a ventilator and has to move his hand, shake it
Mm.
to shake with the ventilator as
Mm.
he's cutting into this tiny, tiny, not even 1 pound baby.
Wow.
And he comes back and he says, "It's a success." I dropped to my knees and I just like start crying. Like,
Wow.
I cannot tell you for how long. Now, the thing that I do that I think really got me through it was I'd never been so close to my faith. At the time, I was a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
I was very, very strong in my faith.
Mm-hmm.
Around that time, I was doing business ministry. I was leading the business ministry. I was helping with the youth.
Yeah.
I was going all the time. Like, I was very involved with it.
Wow.
And but I still had this coaching community, right? And people were
Mm-hmm.
like, "What's going on?" Because I made this decision. I was just going to tell the whole world. And when I did, I was like, I can't be a sob story.
Mm-mm.
I have to like, and if not for them, for me. And so
Yeah.
I would do things, I called it the stoplight confessional. I did two things
Mm.
during this time. One, we celebrated her birthday every Monday.
Okay.
It was every week that she had, she was born on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was basically every single week. And we would celebrate her birthday because we didn't know how long that we were going to have her. It
Yeah.
wasn't until the third month that the nurse said, "You're going to take your daughter home one day." And I was like,
Aw.
"Oh my God." Because I'd just been living day to day, and just
Mm-hmm.
hoping that nothing
Mm-hmm.
was going to crash. Even
Yeah.
when it was good, I wouldn't believe it. So we celebrated her birthday every day and we did Cake Pop Monday.
Mm.
And I did, if you look up right now, hashtag Cake Pop Monday, you will see all of the cake pops from the Vatican
Yeah.
to South Africa to
Wow.
everyone around here holding up a pink cake pop and doing Miracle Baby Olivia, Cake Pop Monday, 12-ounce miracle, always have hope, and we just started this whole
Look it
thing.
up.
And so I would literally spend $50 every Monday and bring in all these cake pops for all the nurses. And
Aw.
we would hang up this banner that said happy birthday because this NICU staff was amazing. Like they
Mm.
knew that we weren't, there was a chance that we might not. So we like lived every day to the fullest, right?
You have to.
Yeah. And it really took me from never ever being present to so present.
Mm-hmm.
So present. And something I used to do, I used to come home and I used to sing opera. I'm not a singer. I had no idea why I would do this until years later. And
Mm-hmm.
I would just be like, whoa, I'll save you. But it was just as loud and deep and long as I possibly could.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was breath work, And
Mm.
it was just crazy. So we finally ended up taking her home 182 days later. She was
Wow.
born in July. We take her home in January of 2025. But we take her home and she has an NG tube in her that goes down to her belly, and she had a oxygen on her. And so we
Mm-hmm.
had an oxygen concentrator in our house, and it was a 50-foot cord, and all I wanted was a cordless baby, a wireless baby.
Mm.
Like she always had this stuff on her.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
I had to stick the NG tube down her, like
Mm.
literally swaddle her, wait for her to choke, and then shove it down there and put on a stethoscope with a little vial and like push air and make sure that it was in the right part of her stomach and then tape it to her face. I get queasy when I see blood.
Yeah.
Okay. So the fact that I had to do this was crazy. We had 40 hours of nursing during the day, 40 hours of nursing at night. I say all this to say that two things. One, you don't have to have a 12-ounce baby to like go through this or
Mm-hmm.
to feel this. But
Mm-hmm.
two, I also had two businesses while I was going through this.
Mm.
I didn't care about your damn dog. I didn't care about what you thought was your problem at home
Mm-hmm.
because I was fighting for my daughter's life.
Yeah.
And even at that point, when she was home,
Amen.
we found this amazing specialist in Tucson. And we used to drive down to Tucson, 2 hours away, load up the car with all the things. And because anytime a bottle would come near her mouth, rightfully so,
Mm.
she would projectile vomit. couches, the dog, the coffee table, us, like anything. You moved her and she wouldn't want anything in her mouth.
Yeah.
Of course not. When you're jamming a ventilator and a feeding tube, your body knows.
Yeah.
That there's this book, The Body Keeps the Score, where our bodies remember, but our minds don't. And so we got this therapist to actually, we had a time where she was going to get a G tube. And they put a G tube in kids and they wait till they're 3. They say just a feeder and a grower, they call them.
Interesting.
And that hinders development even more, right? So just like how we are now, you know, my daughter never experienced a lot of crawling or like playing. So we have an OT right now, occupational therapy, which is fine motor. It's, you know, writing and her fingers, she can't go like this with her fingers, like wave them like a way. It's flexed or
clinched.
Thank you. And
Wow.
so, you know, there's all this stuff that you're fighting through and you're still growing businesses. And I'm doing the stoplight confessional, which is, it's like, there was always this stoplight that would take 3 minutes. I go, hey guys, I know life might look dark, but don't forget the sun is always behind the clouds. And like, cause it was a cloudy day in Arizona, right? And it was more so for me. And so when I'm getting my makeup on or I'm doing my hair in the morning, I would think, what can I put out to the world that's really for me, but for them? And I believe, and again, now years later, 10, 11 years later, I know that practice of choosing to be grateful or find some light in this darkness, in this death. Like I would literally walk in and they're like, there were these twins and this baby Bella died. And then Bella's parents wanted Santa Claus, who came into the NICU for pictures. Santa Claus took a picture with deceased baby Bella in our pod and then came over to Olivia. Like, I don't have words for that kind of mental
That's a lot.
torment.
Yeah.
And then the survivor's guilt that you go home with. And knowing that, like, the best friend, a friend, Michelle, her baby died 3 months into it and she was 1 pound, 12 ounces. And it's like, there's so many things that you're dealing with. I bring this up because we all have our 12-ounce baby moment in life. Yeah. I don't care if you stubbed your toe or if you were in NICU. Trauma is trauma, and we all have it. I don't care if you think you grew up in the perfect place ever. Like, we all have it. And so what started a lot of healing for me is, so I had postpartum. I was going to a group for that. I had EMDR, which the success rate of EMDR is amazing. It's bilateral like stimulation. It gets your left and right brain together and you go deep into things, and it's 10 to 12 sessions with a trained therapist. There's a protocol for it. They use it a lot for PTSD. Okay. I highly recommend everybody does it. And yeah, you know what? Unfortunately, your insurance probably does not cover it.
That's unfortunate.
But you know what? What is your mental health worth? You know, like,
priceless.
What is underneath there that you don't even know about? What are the patterns or the things that you keep doing and cognitively, you know, I shouldn't be doing this, but your heart hasn't understood it yet because our particle, like, there's so much more to healing than just the cognitive. That's why we can know something, but still do something else. And so that opened up my healing journey. We also went through a 1.5 years of couples therapy and emotionally focused therapy. And I learned about so many different therapies. And unfortunately, you know, the marriage didn't survive it. And I found myself being a single mom. And so now, during that whole time, I had actually sold in 2016. So Olivia was born in 2014. In 2016, I sold the pet sitting company. Okay. And I looked at the coaching and I said, okay, I can't do dollar for time, but I really want to make this happen. Yeah. Let's figure out a one-to-many model. And that's when my mastermind started. I already had Facebook groups with thousands of people in them. And I said, okay, join my mastermind. And that's where I'll teach. So pay me a monthly fee. And then I also said, okay, I love marketing. Marketing's so much fun. I know you love marketing. It's creative, right? And so I started the first program. I did a lot of firsts in the pet industry. It was create content once and then change the colors, the fonts, the logo, and give it to everybody. Okay. And we had 30 or 40 people in the program. I had a team that would like do all of that, but it was like me coming up with the idea. We didn't have AI then. It was the designer coming up with the design. It was me approving. It was oh God, it was a mess. Like, thank God we're not
way more labor intensive.
It was crazy. Yeah. But that's what we did. That's what I did. And then I had started the podcast in 2014. That's now just published no, 464th episode yesterday. Called Bella in Your
Congratulations.
Business. Thank you.
Let's go.
So I'm doing all this stuff with business owners. I'm kind of like holding their feet to the fire, asking them the tough questions. I'm in survival now. I'm now a single mom. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, well, or part-time single. We share a 50-50.
Yeah, yeah.
And but I'm like, I have no one to fall back on anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
And as a woman.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, like I need safety nets that have safety nets.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get real on diversified income,
Mm-hmm.
right? Revenue and investments,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you can't put all your eggs in one basket, as I'm sure you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really, really got keen on that. And I really was like operating out of a place of scarcity, out of fear,
Yeah.
out of, oh my God, I need all my nuts. Like I need all these nuts. I need like kill it, hustle it, like destroy it. Don't stop. And if you do, you're terrible. And what do you do when you're lazy? And I'm like, I'm lazy. Nobody tells me I'm lazy. Where does I'm lazy come from?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. I need to go back to therapy again. I need to
Mm.
start understanding this, but therapy's not working anymore because I cognitively know this stuff.
Yeah.
I've read the books.
And you're checking yourself already.
I've read the books.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't this stuff healing?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started getting into the woo-woo stuff, as the world likes to call it, but it's science.
Yep.
It's science.
Yep.
Into my particles and energy and frequencies and going into my heart and realizing that my heart was different than my head and understanding like all the different chakras and the areas of myself. And I am no way, shape, or form an expert in this.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, as I started doing that, it was so uncomfortable because I was tired.
Yeah.
After I was hustling, I was tired.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple of years that I only worked Monday and Tuesday until noon because I self-proclaimed said that my brain doesn't work after noon.
Okay.
And luckily I had set myself up for reoccurring revenue.
Yep.
So I gave myself that space.
Yep.
But it was the most uncomfortable time of my personal life
It's hard.
because you have to sit down and shut up.
Yeah.
You have to let the voices in your head come to the front. I call it the tribal council. Because then you're like, oh my God, I got all these different voices telling me all these different things. What do I do? Who do I listen to? Who's the right one? And then I realized I have to love all of them. They're all parts of me. And then I got into inner child work. Oh my God. I had texted my therapist at the time with like snot rags on the thing, crayons and all kinds of F-bombs. And I'll keep it clean here, but it was not nice.
Yeah.
I was like, are you happy now? Like this was the most uncomfortable, stupid thing ever. And now I'm just angry. And oh no, I unlocked it. I had no idea. I had no idea it went down that deep. And I think a lot of times I was uncomfortable going there because when I went into inner child work, I was thinking I'm a victim. And I'm like, I'm not a victim. Like, I don't want to go there. Oh, my dad yelled at me. Oh, my mom didn't stand up for me. It's not about that. It has nothing to do, like, I understood it's not about that. It's about like the karmic lesson. It's about, like, that's what subconsciously programmed me. They were doing the best that they could.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've had conversations with them. Like my dad, God bless him. He'll bark on the He's Italian. He's loud on the outside, soft and mushy on the inside. Don't tell anyone I said that, Dad, if you ever listen to this. Sorry, I told everyone. But
It's all love.
yeah. And that's what I realized, you know, and I had to like go through this like true acceptance. I'm not even gonna say forgiveness. It was acceptance. And they were the first people I accepted. You
Aw.
are who you are.
Yeah.
You did the best thing that you could.
Mm-hmm.
And that allowed me to start accepting everyone else, including the tribal council in my head. Okay. There's this really cool book called Existential Kink. And it talks about the fact that like when we are attracting these things that we're like, what the hell? That there's a part of us that actually likes it. And that's the premise of the book. I suggest you check it out. It's amazing.
You love it.
But, you know, it's about loving all parts of ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of us, one of the biggest things the first lesson I learned when I was quiet with myself was looking through guilt, shame, and fear. And it was an energy coach that I still have now who explained that to me. And I was like, he's like, well, why do you feel guilty? I was like, huh? Well, I hear shame. I was like, I'm not shameful. I'm prideful. Look at me. He's
Yeah.
like, no, 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 no. Here's the mirror. Like, let's go deeper. And
Uh,
I was like, oh. And so the minute that I learn this stuff,
mm-hmm.
it makes it easier for me. My intuition goes up because then as people are
Mm.
talking, I now have so many more tools inside of myself as a coach
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that I can understand and I can pinpoint.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's knowledge, sometimes it's just intuition.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't told me anything about you, but most of the time, if I
Mm-hmm.
tap in and tune in, my intuition's gone so far up because I feel like I've been able to open up those parts of myself through my own self
Mm.
discovery. So I don't even know where I am in the story, but
Beautiful.
I get out of like the survival mode, then I get into like just exhaustion mode.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that none of us are allowed to be in exhaustion mode. Like, let's put it on autopilot
Yeah.
and let's just like chill our nervous system
Mm-hmm.
so that we can come back into alignment. And that's where I'm now.
Oh,
And
I
it feels so
love that.
amazing. And it's like, I only want to build now if it's in alignment. And I figured out when it's in alignment, it's when I get excited. It's like sitting here talking to you doing this makes me feel in alignment because
Mm.
I get to be a mirror to whoever's listening to this or push some people's beliefs. Because I think that a lot of times when people talk about things, they talk about the end of it
Mm-hmm.
or they talk about what you should do and that like the destination.
Yeah.
And I think every single one of us are in all these different things. And I hate to say it, and Lord and universe, I hope this isn't going to happen. I don't want to be in survival mode again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not fun.
I don't want to go back there, but I have different tools
Mm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
I have a different way of looking at it. I think
Mm-hmm.
I really do believe that I willed Olivia into this earth
Mm.
because I would look the doctors in the eye
Mm.
when they're telling me these horrible things, which they have to.
Of course.
And I would say, if you do not believe this child is going to survive, I
Mm.
need you to get the F off the team. I literally said that to him with so much conviction.
Let's go.
And I didn't know what I know now. I would have
Yeah.
been terrified. I was blissfully ignorant. Okay. And all
Wow.
I had was my faith,
Yeah.
believing in the unknown that
Yep.
you can't see. And just literally being like, no, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Tell me I can't do it. You see,
Mm-hmm.
like from the beginning, like, tell me I can't do it. I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when it was really put to the test. And so
Wow.
now when I'm doing keynotes, I don't care what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'll use in my head the whole time. I was like, God, why are you bringing me through this?
Mm.
And I was like, you're not bringing me through this for me never to talk about it. I don't
Mm-mm.
care if she's 25. I'm still going to talk about it.
Amen.
And it's like, so I'll be doing keynotes for some random industry and I'll open it up with something that has to do with mindset.
Mm.
And that time in my life, I'll leave the story open. I'll teach what I need to teach and I'll close it with the like closing that's part of the story, right?
Very smart. I love that.
And speaking for me, that's the biggest alignment I can ever get in. I go to Suns games and I'm like, oh my gosh, just give me the microphone for 60 seconds and tell me I have 60 seconds to motivate this entire stadium. Like that
I
lights
love
me
it.
up. Where
Let's go.
the rest of the world is like, it's like their biggest fear.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not for me.
I'm right there with you.
I'm built different. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I looked you up.
She's like, I knew I was getting myself into before I got in there.
I know who I'm talking to. I qualified the audience. Not to mention, I also feel like, and this is part of me now, like, I feel like you have to surround yourself with
Mhm.
incredible people.
Yeah.
Because you don't see, like, let's say CEOs of major companies dealing drugs on the corner with hobos and people who don't have a home,
Mhm.
right? Like, you are your circle, and it's so cliche,
Yeah.
but I say every single one of my friends are magical. And one of my magical friends was one of your guests back in January,
Okay.
Olenka.
Ah.
And she told me about you.
She's
and she was like,
amazing.
you need to go. She is. She is a unicorn queen sparkle. And I love her. And what I love about her is that she will, when I was making this like addition, I'm not even gonna call it a pivot, it's an addition
Okay.
into AI and hiring for the world
Yeah.
instead of just in this niche of the pet industry.
Mm.
She's like, Bella, you gotta niche, you gotta be AI for hiring. Like one thing, because people can't understand that you actually have all this, like that's the door to get in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm like, but, because
Yep.
I was such a generalist in a niche.
Yeah.
And it's it was so hard for me to do that because I'm like, but I
Mm.
could do all these other things too. And so having her literally kick my butt at my
Mm-hmm.
kitchen table,
Mm-hmm.
but I've also done that for her as well.
Mm.
And that's where I think it's so important for us to pay attention and be intentional
Yes.
about who you surround yourself with,
Mm-hmm.
who you listen to,
Mm-hmm.
what you listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are we listening to country where, I'm sorry, I don't like country, but country where it's like, my dog died and my girlfriend left me?
Yep.
Or are we listening to music that we created on Suno that has to do with your future self, which is what I teach. I teach part of that.
Let's go.
I teach like
I
how
like
to
that.
make your 5D self mantra
Uh-huh.
with AI
Mm-hmm.
and record it.
Mm.
ASMR.
Mm.
You are safe.
Mm.
Mine's 8.5 minutes.
Wow.
It was the most uncomfortable thing I did last year on 4/4.
Really?
And within 3 months, everything came true. It was insane. But I made this whole mantra. I recorded it. I listened to it when I took a nap. I went to sleep when I just felt like I needed to be grounded. Then I took that and I asked it to make me song lyrics when Suno came out, which was after 4/4.
Mm-hmm.
And I made songs so I could listen to
What?
my own songs, but it had my lyrics, my words, like the things about my life. So now I can listen to my
Powerful.
songs. It really is like go take
Yeah.
a walk and listen to it. I'm not done yet. Then it also your 5D is usually, like I'm walking on the beach in Maui with my kid, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
my wife or something like that. And so you take a picture of yourself.
Mm.
You say, put me on the beach of Maui, and you have this beautiful
Mm.
picture on Nano Banana. Then you take it a step further and you have VO make an 8-second version of the picture. So now
Yeah.
you got a video.
Yes.
Now you got a movie.
Yes.
If you splice them together. So now you get a movie of you doing your future thing. You can see it.
Mind movie.
You have pictures you can put around your house because that silly vision board you don't see after 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You have music that you can listen to in the background while you're working or while you're walking or taking a mindful whatever.
Yeah.
And you have this thing that you can literally brainwash yourself at the most powerful time when you're about to go to sleep. Instead of listening to Law and Order or some crime or some news or horrible stuff. So it is so important to brainwash yourself. And it has never been a better time to do that than 2026. We have all these tools, they're free. All you got to do is stack them and be intentional.
That is you took the word out of my freaking mind.
I know.
That
I
is
know.
that
Isn't
is
it great?
I mean, it is.
Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
The only thing that's holding you back from doing it is yourself.
100%.
Because guess what? I could sit here and teach you, or you could open up Claude or ChatGPT and you could take the transcript, or you could take this little soundbite and be like, teach me how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You need Nano Banana, Suno, AI, and a microphone. And you could do it on you don't even need a real microphone. You could do it on your cell phone,
I love that.
And so it literally changes mine. So I do that in my mastermind. In December, we always do self-care.
Okay.
And so that's one of the things we do.
Yeah.
And I challenge my mastermind members to do it. I don't teach anything I don't know. I hate, hate is a strong word, and I hate.
It is.
I hate when people just regurgitate other people's stuff.
Yep.
And they haven't done it themselves.
Yep.
And this day and age, you're going to have a lot of fakers out there.
Oh, a ton.
You're going to have so many people that I have people I coached, and 6 months later, they turn around and they're a coach and they're regurgitating my stuff. You've got AI now that you can pull up whatever you want, And so I think it's really important, along with intentionality, if you're going to listen to someone, who are they?
Yeah.
What fire have they walked through?
Yeah.
How are they qualified? What kind of life are they living? Are they being open about their life? Is it someone you want to emulate? There's so many people out there that don't have a pot to piss in, and they're telling you about your P&L. Come on now.
Yes, it happens all the time. You see it. You see individuals out there that don't share anything personally, and everything's so polished. And you're like, who is this person? And then people are like, oh, I met him in person, and they're not exactly who they were portraying that they were.
Or they're a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Show me the evolution of your business. And so something I'll say to people, or I'll identify when I first work with them, is if it's an entrepreneur, I'll be like, what part of your journey are you on? And because nobody ever actually stops, because it's just like, we got to do this. We got to crush it. We got to do. Okay, but is this really the right time for you, Norman? Why right now? Why now? Well, because, I'm getting my groove back. I'm back in alignment. I'm so ready to build. I'm inspired. Like I'm working 10-hour days right now and I'm excited. I have to stop myself from working because I'm so on fire. Or are you making up every single excuse in the book, and are you trying to make yourself super busy so that you don't have to sit with yourself or your business and answer the hard questions?
Yep.
You just make yourself busy.
Yep.
I'm so busy. What are you busy doing?
Mm-hmm.
You're a
Busy
human
being busy.
being, not doing, And now
Yeah.
we have AI.
Yeah.
And if you're doing more than being, we got a problem.
That couldn't be you hit it on the head, because I'll tell you what, like most recently, that's exactly my alignment is doing less. Like I
Yeah.
only worked a week and a half last month.
Amen,
I just
brother.
got back from Japan a week and a half
Oh my
ago.
God, that's so
I
cool.
was out there for 2 weeks. I got super sick when I got back. Thank you for the parting gift, Japan. And I had the biggest month of the year so far. And
Absolutely.
I didn't need to work any harder.
Right.
I
And
totally just let it go.
And this podcast, tell our listeners, why did you start this podcast? Is this like the passion project? Is this like the let's just like have a really cool networking meeting, but record it and send it out to the world? Like, what is the antithesis for this?
The next Joe Rogan, but bigger.
Ooh, yes.
So basically,
I love this vision.
when you look at the different shows and podcasts and everything that's out there, there's a lot of like, and I'm feeling it here. There's a lot of fluff.
Oh, you got goosebumps?
Oh yeah, big time.
Ooh.
There's a lot of fluff.
Not a meeting with Bella unless those happen.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of individuals out there that are in the limelight right now.
Right.
And so you see it. You
Yeah.
already see, you know who they are. And I don't have to drop any of the names. The two brothers and yada, yada, yada. And they're getting all the clout and they're getting all the stuff. And it's almost kind of like agenda-ish. So for this show, I got nothing to sell.
Yeah.
It's sponsored by Liftoff Agent.
Yeah.
I had to fight my business partner to do it because he thought it was going to cause maybe conflict of interest because of brand on the Liftoff Agent, too close to the same. And so for me, it's like, hey, let's just have fun. Let's just put myself out there.
Yeah.
Let's only make it in person, like the other ones online and in person. So we can go deeper with conversations. Let's make it 2 hours, and then the right people that need to see this will see this and be able to hopefully just take one thing from it to be able to apply to their life personally, professionally, spiritually, and have more success. And I'm a little, I gotta say, I'm also just gonna be a little selfish here and say that to have someone like you in the room who's as amazing as you are, to be able to listen and understand, it's like free coaching at the same time. And so it comes together full circle. And I'm excited to see where it's going to go, because I know eventually with Liftoff Agent, 15,000 agents, top 1%, I want to serve is the goal.
Click your
You want to do that?
applause button.
We're at almost 5, so we have a little ways to go.
Okay.
But 100 in the Philippines. I have 20 now, and then in the States, I want about 2025, and then 15,000 agents, top 1%. At the middle tier, it'd be about 13 million a month, 166 million a year, and I'll sell the company for 300 million. What's next? And I'm already doing the what's next.
Bro, I love it.
So that's my thing. It's like, well, how do and the wife, she's into it, I'm into it, and then it's not as woo-woo as going directly into maybe some of the conversations, so they can relate to what you just said. Like, okay, I'm divorced. Oh, I'm a mother.
Right.
Oh, I've been to the
And you have a lot of bros on the episode, so it's nice when you get the women on here too.
Yes, and I think we're actually starting to get more of the women on, which is great.
Yeah.
And it's all organic. Everything here is organic. I actually have Gia, who's helping finding guests, and she was who was talking the whole time.
Yeah.
And so like
I saw that,
and so I text you like literally when you're on your way.
Yeah.
And so it's fun. I'm just allowing it to go where it goes. We had a
love
certified health nut on and different people, and I'm just like, let's just see what the universe,
I love it.
throws into the mix, and it's fun.
It's amazing what happens when you surrender and you see what a lot of people say, like, what's possible, or universe, bring it to me, or whatever. But like, you're creating the space for that. And I think that's an important point to that.
Amen.
Because you can say you are welcoming it in, but unless you're actually intentionally making the space for it, it has no place to go. Or it can come to you and there's no place to land, so we're just gonna go right straight over you.
Yes.
You ain't ready for it yet,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so it sounds like to me that you're like open and ready and willing.
Oh my God. I couldn't be
I got goosebumps too. I love that. Like, yeah,
I couldn't be more ready. And
I can see it in your face.
it's a situation where it's just like, 11 years in, you put in the time,
Yeah.
and being at a place now where it's just like, it's just is, and it's just beautiful. And it's a situation where it's like, you don't know who you don't know who's watching.
Uh-huh.
And then you'll whatever, not everyone likes, not everyone comments, not everyone says things.
Right.
But then all suddenly someone will go into this philosophical thing. You're like, where the hell did that come from? And it's just like, oh yeah, I watched the show and this and that. I'm like I know you're gonna just all suddenly open up, or you watch the show or whatever else. I mean, we went to we had a guest, and we'll probably have to have him back on this show. And he has Just Grow podcast, Nico. He has the woo and the do. So Nico,
I love Nico.
So Nico was on Real Estate First Technology. We haven't got on the liftoff experience. And then long story short, I went to his this is a woo and do podcast. I went to his woo, so the more woo side. And I got partnered with this guy who also is connected with Michael with Optimize, and Michael was on the show too. And and he does like Wim Hof breathing, and he knows Certified Health Nut, and yada 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 yada. Right? I
love it.
So I'm talking to this gentleman, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head. And he's talking about this podcast, talking about this story, and talking about this stuff. And next thing you know, I'm like, hold on, is that the liftoff experience? He's like, yeah. He's like, hold on, are you? Yeah, it's me. He's like, what the heck? He's like, yeah. I was driving in the car and I was listening to your podcast, and I literally was like, I went like 30 minutes off my path because I wasn't paying attention to the GPS because I was in the trance listening to your show. I know about your aunt and this and that and all this stuff, and I'm just like, what?
That's what I love about podcasting. My own, it's like I get on the phone with people, and I've had people cry. And they're like, I can't believe I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
And then like they instantly want to coach with me. It's almost like they call to make sure that I'm real, because the podcast has such a high persuasion of influence.
Yes, it does.
Or influence of persuasion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's wild.
Well, when someone spends that much time with you. So on the liftoff agent side, we talk about like passive prospecting, parasocial relationships, where people will build know, like, and trust, and they don't talk to you, nothing.
Right.
It's a one-sided relationship. Yes. Well, it's the same thing with the podcast. They're having this one-sided relationship. They feel like they know, like, and trust and all this type of stuff. And then it's so interesting because I'll do whatever. Yeah. Like I was like, Friday, we go get a massage, and I was like, let's go check out the smoke shop. And I was like I had all the time, but sometimes like kava, kratom, that type of stuff. And so I was like, oh, maybe they'll have like a white rabbit. And next thing you know, I'm talking to the business owners. He's giving us free drinks. And then he's like, oh, you do what? Can you build me a website? I'm like, what? I'm not even, hold on. Maybe I do real estate and stuff like that always just happens. It's just like people open up and then they just want to like, they want to like almost just hand you money, and you're like, whoa, slow down here. Like, let's make sure that's in alignment for you too. And this is going to make sense. And like, what are you trying to do here? But it's just such a blessing.
That's the know, like, and trust, like in the flesh. And it reminds me of, right now I have a piece of paper. I just wrote it. I just said, show me how good it can get. And so we were talking about this at the very beginning. I'm going to circle back to it. And it's still in line with being intentional and stuff. So in between my two mirrors in my bathroom, I have, first of all, when you walk into my bedroom, I just have this wall. Okay. And so I'm terrible at like I used to use my stiletto to like hammer in like nails.
It's good.
So it's just all these, like, when I find fun sayings, I put it up there. But like I said, like your brain forgets or doesn't see it anymore. So I swap them out. The minute I stop seeing it, I swap it out. And so I had swapped out probably like a couple rounds over the past few years. Yeah. And so someone had said to me, they said, show me how good this can get. I was like, I love that. And I wrote it and I just put it, there's just a piece of paper in between my two mirrors right now. It's like, show me how good it can get. Yeah. And so it's exactly that. So you walk into a store and you're already pre-programming your brain with like, show me how good it can get. Yes. And then to like connect, like, I just attracted that. Yes. Because I was like open and just like a human talking to a human. Hello. Imagine that. And just like being real instead of like looking down at my phone, like, can I get a what was it? White rabbit?
White rabbit. Yeah.
White rabbit. It's amazing what you can do when you really open yourself up. I wanted to go back to something, if this is okay. Yeah. I saw you getting a little emotional, and then we got off topic about the podcast, and I wanted to know what that was. and where they came from. Like, I feel like it means something bigger to you, and I want to hear more about that. Like, bigger than Joe Rogan. Like, where does that
Mm.
come from, and what does that look like? Is that okay for me to flip this on you?
Yeah, I feel that it's like there's so much going on in the world right now. And the number one thing people have to remember that if you just keep it simple and you just pay attention to what's around you,
Mhm.
and going back to like what you just said,
Yeah.
how good can it get?
Hmm.
And if you can be intentional, like that is just an intentional action,
Right.
just like an intentional action of saying like, okay, the intention is I'm going to lay my head down on the pillow. I'm going to sleep amazing. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to feel refreshed and ready for the day.
Yeah.
I'm going to have ease and flow when I drive to the gym. The gym's going to be amazing. I'm going to this, and this, whatever. And so I feel that like it doesn't need to be so much in people's faces.
Uh huh.
It could just be more of an organic conversation, which we're having,
Yeah.
for people to start to then look at things a little bit different, just a quarter turn and be like, huh, at what point, like I did a post today, at what point did you forget to play? When did
Yeah.
the playing stop? Knocking on your neighbor's door and playing, or you know, you hear it from parents. They're like, oh well, you know, I have a kid now. So that was a dream at one point, because one of my dreams was to buy a Nissan GTR. And then I hear other fathers like to say, oh well, that was a dream, but it's not practical, it's not this, it's four seats. I got my daughter in the back. What's
Yeah.
not practical about it? Like
Yeah.
living your dream and then being excited and then driving it and then seeing other people live your dream that inspires them to live their dream. You're
Yeah.
not in alignment.
Right.
So that's where it's just like, if not if, when I can show the viewers and audience the opportunity of what alignment looks like,
Hmm.
just from the perspective of no big names, no celebrities,
Right.
no fucking nothing besides two individuals in a room
Yeah.
co-creating, having an alignment opportunity to show what it looks like.
Yes.
So then y'all out there can have your alignment moment as well, whether you know it is or not, like the gentleman who totally went the wrong way.
Yeah.
And it's just that little thing that I feel like makes the biggest difference, because it's fucking overwhelming.
It
You could
is.
look at all of the news and the media and the war and the gas
Yeah.
prices and all the bullshit. Like my business partner and I were having conversation. I was like, I don't know. I really want to maybe get a fourplex. What do you think? Do you want to go in with me, or maybe I'll just do it personally? He's like, the rental market's not that great, yada, yada, yada. But after our podcast, I'm going to have pizza with the neighbors, and Joe's a loan officer and Ashley's the agent. So I'm going to go a little deeper into doing some research, and we'll see.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, all we can do is like just the little things. And
Right.
this is my little thing
Yeah.
that can potentially turn into something bigger. And I there was a time where it was too forceful, where
Uh-huh.
I was like just pushing it down
Yes.
people's throat. It wasn't in alignment.
Yes.
And we lost everything. I lost my Instagram, my Facebook. My
Hmm.
wife lost her Instagram. My daughter had an Instagram we started when she was like, you know, whatever, just born.
Hmm.
We were starting to get some like 10,000 followers, good views, the whole nine. And like, oh, you avoided this, that, and the other thing, terms of service. So we had to shut everything down. They didn't give us any reasoning. But I think it was because it was
Sounds
being
like Meadow.
too loud
Yeah.
and maybe crossing the line a little bit. So I'm
Uh-huh.
learning that there's nothing that technically, even in a podcast, a lot being said here, but there's nothing that needs to be said
Right.
in order for you to really just like know
Yeah.
and to be in that alignment. And
Yeah.
so that's where it's like this week, I've just been like, you know, a little off topic, but still on topic, like just showing people like, dude, I'm not going to be working as hard. I'm not even
Right.
going to worry about it. Like I
Right.
literally back-to-back closings, barely even tried before my
Yep.
meeting. I'm going to the pool. I'm going to the hot tub. I'm going to get some
Amen.
sun.
Amen.
Come in.
Yeah.
Met with this gentleman because like I was working on the sales division and trying too hard and pushing too hard, and had an
Yeah.
individual didn't work out.
Yeah.
I said, fuck it. And the next, you know, now 3 people are lined up and ready to go, and they want to get started, and they're starting next week, and another person starting in a week and a half. And it's just like, okay, cool.
I love that concept, and I'm so glad that you brought it up,
Yeah.
because I think more people, it needs to come to people's conscious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so if it's not working, it's just not working that way.
Yep.
And it's make the space, like we were talking about, right? Like, how much do you trust the universe? Like, why are you forcing and trying to control so much? And one of the lessons I learned about control, interestingly, it was again through my daughter.
Miracle.
Her dad took her to Macedonia, that's where he's from, for
Okay.
2 weeks last year, and it was the longest I'd ever been without her.
Oh my God.
And I was freaking out. Like,
Yeah.
I was freaking out, like I was in NICU, and I was like, "Whoa, what is this?"
What's
And
going on here?
I had the tools to go deeper And it was, I wanted to control the situation because if I didn't control it, who was I? Could I just be? And then that snowballed into a whole lesson of I'm lovable just by being and I don't have to perform. Ergo, back to the first conversation I was telling you about, my dad, right?
Yep.
And so I started understanding and coming to realization, going back to your point, that, you know, when you're trying to force things, that's another word for control.
Yeah.
And so, like, why are we
100%.
trying to control it?
Yeah.
And so it's like a duality with, like, do we believe in the universe is going to provide, or are we trying to control it and figure it all out on our own? Right. And if you
Exactly.
really do believe that it's going to happen, like this alignment, like I am going to be on a really big stage.
Yeah.
And I've had this
Let's do it
in
together.
my heart.
Let's do it together.
Okay,
Let's
let's
go.
go.
I'm down. If you
Absolutely.
co-create, it happens faster.
Absolutely. Like I just got full body chills. Like I've had this in my belly for 10 years. And I do say it and then I turn off because then people go, well, how are you? Because people's natural reaction is, well, how are you going to do it? We need to do this and we need to do that. We need to get you on it. I'm like, no, like it's going to happen. I know that you're not going to cognitively understand this.
Correct.
But energetically, every single thing I've done in my life, it's not for that pinnacle. Everything I've done in my life has helped me. Okay, here we go. You can't take, it's like, I have this vision in my head, like, okay, at the top of this ceiling, there's a hole and we're going to our next identity shift, like becoming our next self, right?
Yep.
But what we're trying to do, we're on this ladder and we're trying to yank this huge ass suitcase with us because we want to take it with us.
Of course.
But you have to have the trust to like let it go and go through that proverbially naked, right? Without anything, because what you have, what's in the next iteration of your life, your identity, whatever you want to call it, whatever you subscribe to, it's all there for you.
Yeah.
You know, and what you've learned and who you've become as a person, it's all there for you. And so that's that letting it go and going through it. I can smell those snickerdoodles your wife and daughter are making.
Well, I shut the window
Oh,
because I turned the AC on. We're getting kind of spicy in here, so I'm like, all right, turn the AC up a little bit. Plus, it's getting a little hotter outside, so
No,
with
it's
the
fine.
studio
That's
lights, it gets a
great.
little warmer.
I love it.
But yeah, it's so true because I was just on the trip, and I'm just I'm saying what I'm saying from the perspective of contrast and just
Yes.
giving a perspective, okay?
Yes.
And to I'm just gonna be honest to my mother-in-law. I love you. I'm not gonna say what mother-in-law. I'm just gonna say I love you, and I'm saying this out of love because I'm right there with you when it comes to I'm no bullshit.
Yeah.
I say what needs to be said,
For
and
sure.
sometimes it could be perceived as, a little bit, it's passive aggressive, and it's not something that I want to do. So I'm working on how to navigate
Right.
what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, because so many people aren't intentional. They don't think about
Coming more
others.
from your heart.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
You're trying to slow it down.
Yes.
To see how you can express it through your heart and not through the logical mind.
Yes.
Like why don't you understand this?
Yes.
And that's who is it? Rumi? There's the power in the slowing down between the response and the, oh, I'm messing it up. Sorry, go on.
All right. Well, you think about it for a second when it comes
Go on.
back.
Sorry.
So we're in Japan,
Yes.
and so we're going out there with my my father-in-law, his new wife, my wife, Jordan, my business partner, his wife, and then we flew out some team leads from the Philippines. So we do 2 trips a year, and so we had Cha come out and her partner Jamie, and then we had Vitz, and then we had Mark and Bernadette. And then out there in Japan, we already have Jane. She lives out there, and then she has her husband. So there's about 15 of us at the highest point. And so we're out in Japan, and we're doing the thing, and it's interesting to see how people navigate. And for me, like I am pretty much just an observer. I like to observe. I just like to keep the peace. I don't need to be in control. I mean, I'm fucking paying for the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Nice
That's
if
enough.
someone else gave you the
That's
itinerary.
enough control. That's what my
Yeah.
partner did. He did the
Yeah.
whole itinerary, which that's another story. Probably should have had a little bit more control there, but it is what it is. Went down Smith's Lane. That's my business partner's name. So I love my mother-in-law, but there was just certain times where there was this controlling factor,
Yeah.
and you could tell, and maybe you're a viewer and listener out there, that you have this sense of wanting to be in control.
Yes.
And when you're not in control, you feel like you're out of control because you're not in control from the perspective of what are we doing, where are we going, why are we going there, how are we going there. And at the end of the day, it doesn't always need to be a thing. It doesn't even, who cares? It's just, we are, it just is, and here we are.
Yeah.
And so I even felt the resistance in my own self
Mm-hmm.
from the perspective of
Mm-hmm.
like, why are you making this more than it needs to be? Let's just relax and just enjoy, and it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Just like, you hear someone like, I don't know, like someone knows that you do something,
Mm-hmm.
and then this other person wants to challenge you. How are you doing it? Why are you doing it? Just like you said earlier.
Yep.
And it's just because of their own
Programming.
self-programming,
Mm-hmm.
self-limiting beliefs. Maybe something's
Yeah.
coming up for them.
Right.
So it's interesting. It's interesting just to give you all something to think about out there, and maybe, do a little self-evaluation. Hope that helps.
I think the part I love the most is, and to draw to the forefront and for people to consider, is
Mm.
when you can start thinking about your own thoughts, that's like the highest level of frequency you can go to.
Ooh,
And so
I
it's
love
really
that.
difficult though, because it's kind of a conundrum, or it's been a conundrum for me, because I go back to, like I said, the tribal council.
Mm.
So you're thinking about how you're going to respond, or you're thinking about how you're
Mm-hmm.
feeling, and you're trying to figure out how you feel. But I could pick 12 different lanes of how to explain it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it's frustrating,
Mm.
and it's really hard to stay conscious of it and
Mm-hmm.
patient with it,
Mm.
to really then, okay, I have all these cognitive thoughts. Let's acknowledge them and love them, and let's go quiet and let's go into our heart,
Mm.
and let's really like go there. And it takes so much practice, years of practice,
Mm-hmm.
of intentional practice, to get
Mm-hmm.
there, to understand where your heart's leading you.
Mm.
And I feel like ultimately my heart leads. I try to have my heart lead me, and my brain be like the GPS or the guide,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you can do that, and anyone can do that. And this is
Mm.
where like AI literacy comes in. Like, I think AI is so freaking exciting,
Mm-hmm.
because it can level the playing field for the economically depressed, families or people.
Yeah.
They can do two things. Like, I'm working on trying to get grants right now,
Mm.
so that I can speak to either low income or to children
Mm-hmm.
about AI literacy.
Mm-hmm.
And because it levels the playing field. One, they can either understand AI so they can be really valuable at a company, or
Mm-hmm.
two, they can learn AI and create their own company, right?
Mm. Yeah.
And all you need is like $20 a month and the cell phone.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, you need other stuff. You can do other stuff, but you
Mm-hmm.
can start right there. There's no barrier of entry anymore.
Mm-mm.
There's no, you have to go to college to do this.
Mm-mm.
There's YouTube University, like, what are you going to be intentional about? You don't even have to be economically depressed or a child. My child is on her 23rd episode of this Zoe and the Guardians creation that she's doing with Gemini and ChatGPT.
Let's
She's
go.
created pictures and videos and all this stuff, and I
I
think
love it.
it's so exciting.
I love it.
And so I just feel like, what what's guiding you and what's leading you, and what kind of things are you telling yourself
Mm.
that you can't do, and is it really true?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it like some voice in your past, some pillar in your past that said, you're too lazy, you can't sit down, if you sit down you're going to die? That's our ego trying to
Mm-hmm.
keep us on the go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like in your instance, if you're on a vacation and
Mm.
normally I was ingrained that every single vacation had to be stressful going into it.
Mm.
And so when I started traveling for work, I would be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And someone was like, what's the worst that could happen? You have a Walmart where you're going. It's not like you're going to Mars if you forget
Whatever you
something.
need, you're good.
I was like, oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
And so I think it's like, it's really important in parts of your life to
Mm.
just take a step back, take a deep breath, and be like, what am I thinking right now? And why am I thinking that way? And how do I want to choose to think?
Mm.
And it happens all day long
Mm-hmm.
if you're just aware of your thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Let's take this. I want to go deeper.
Let's go.
So when you think about so a couple things, I'll tie it in. So there's a book, and I'll put this back up here in a second. The book is called, and you're more than welcome to I can actually probably pop it up there too. So the book that I'm reading right now was called, let's go into, okay. So One Truth, One Law, I Create. Okay.
Oh, it sounds like my energy coach.
It's a short book.
Uh-huh.
It's an hour and 35 minutes.
I love it.
And basically now we're gonna go a little woo here, but basically, okay, it starts off like this. Okay. It's the wife, she's in the shower, husband's playing video games. She comes out naked, right? And he looks over and he drops the controller. And she was like, honey, I just spoke to God. And he's like, trying to get his thoughts for a second. She's sitting there naked, whatever. And he's like, okay, what? She's like, yeah, I just was speaking to God. And it was her listening to herself at the highest frequency, at the highest level, right? And so basically, then I think he says, can I talk to God too? And she's like, I don't know. And then she heard a voice and it said, just lay down for a second and just relax. And the next, like it goes into how she's talking to God, he's asking questions, and then it's like a channeled text. Like
Yeah.
there's Paul Selig, I am word, I have it tattooed on me.
Oh, wow.
And so basically, in my opinion, AI is nothing more than a physical third dimension tool that gives you the ability to tap in like you would tap in from the perspective of God consciousness creation, listening to your brain. Because, like, the flow state for athletes, they don't think, they just do. Or if you are writing,
Yeah.
and if anyone's a writer out there and you're writing and it's just like, I can't explain it, these words just come and I'm just writing, like that's you channeling source, God,
Mhm.
your higher self, call it what you will. And so I almost feel like AI is going to be the catalyst to be able to help humans get to the next level of
Development.
awakening and
Mhm.
development,
Mhm.
to be able to listen to themselves and to be able to be enlightened beings.
Yes.
I think it's a part of the bigger picture in the process.
I 1,000% agree. And what I say is when it relates to businesses, as you know, AI output is only as good as AI input. So if you're
Mm.
a business owner and you don't know what you stand for, what your values, your beliefs are,
Mm-hmm.
and you haven't, in order to have good AI, you have to train it and
Yeah.
you have to have the foundational stuff, whether it's avatars or missions or like, all this stuff. But if
Yeah.
you don't know who you are,
Yeah.
and it's so off putting for you to sit down and do it, this is what I do with people, right?
Mm.
It's so uncomfortable for them because it
Yeah.
makes them be like, well, what kind of culture are you building?
Mm-hmm.
You have a pulse and you show up on time. Okay, well then this is why we have these
Culture?
problems.
What is this? What are you
For
talking
real,
about?
for real. So it makes them have to question. If you want good
Mm.
AI, you have to question yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so on your point, I think that AI, if done right in the small business area,
Mm.
it makes people really have to figure themselves out if they
Mm.
want to have it good. Otherwise, it's just going to sound like AI, DIY AI
Yeah.
and AI slop and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I
Yeah.
read that and it's not you, it's
Well,
AI.
going deeper in what you said, majority of individuals, they think that, like, because of social media and movies and all of the things that,
Yeah.
like, it's just about money.
Yeah.
And when you understand that it's not about the money,
Yeah.
the money is just it's like a tool in the toolbox to go do the things that you want to go do. And if you don't know what you don't
Tool,
want to do, exactly.
tool, not your
That's it.
brain, tool.
Exactly.
But
So let's go deeper then in this segment about now when you're meeting with a new business owner
yeah.
and you're working, let's talk identity. Let's talk
Yeah.
how do you go deeper for like this segment for someone right now. We're gonna make this actionable for you. What are
Let's
some
go.
action steps that you take
Uh-huh.
to then help someone self-realize
Right.
what even culture means to them, or what they uh I don't know, what makes them in alignment, what gets them to that next level so you can be of service.
Right. I think it varies with everyone, right?
Okay.
And so we'll take like hiring, for example, right? You're building a team of 20 people, right? And
Mm.
you're hiring right now off hope, a prayer, and gut feeling.
Mm.
And then wondering why you can't hand it off to someone else to hire, or you have to be involved in it all the time, or your churn rate or ghost rate is so
Mm.
high,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And we're like, well, let's look at this whole process. And we're doing nothing to attract them,
Mm.
except we are, because a lack of plan is still a plan. And so we're attracting their own chaos that's inside of us. And so it's
Mm.
really hard to get people to understand that they're chaotic or they're all over the place or they're just attracting generic people. So we go in and we figure out like what kind of person, if you could build your perfect employee, who would they be? And
Mm.
it's really hard for people to think about that because I get them
Mm.
to narrow it down to three things. And I'm like, just because we're testing or examining three things, it doesn't mean that we're not also observing everything else, but we have
Mm.
to have some sort of a focus.
Okay.
And when we do that too, we look at, if they've already hired or something,
Mm-hmm.
past really great hires and really bad hires. So that
Mm-hmm.
helps jog their memory. But it also goes into like, why do you have this business?
Mm.
What is your role in this? And they're like, oh,
Mm.
well, I just want to drive the bus to doggy daycare or something. Like, okay, so you want a job? You want a job? You want to make yourself a job? You don't
Oh,
want to be the visionary?
yeah.
Like, okay. And so, like I said, it varies for everyone, but it's really getting down and just forcing them and not like giving, because usually the first couple answers are always the performed answer
Mm-hmm.
and they don't even know,
Mm.
and so it varies. I'd be like, but why, like, where do you want to be? Like, if you could do anything, like, most people have businesses, they start their businesses for financial freedom and time freedom.
Yeah.
And well, not most, but a lot of people that come to me because they're in dire straits, they're
Mm-hmm.
they're running $1 million business, like a nonprofit. They literally have no
Mm.
profit, and they don't understand that they're the antithesis of it. So
Mm.
it's really hard for me to give actionable results. But what I would say is like, why do you have your business? And what do you want to see it? And then we can
Mm.
reverse engineer it. I'm a big reverse engineer,
Mm.
but I think sometimes people, they really truly, they don't know
Yeah.
because their nervous system is going off and they're in survival mode and they're like, oh my god, I can't even think of
Mm-hmm.
that. I don't even think that could ever be true. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
And so like first you just gotta settle
Mm.
out, like go on vacation and talk to me when you come back, or like,
Mm-hmm.
I know that sounds like easier said than done, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it just varies depending on who you're talking to.
Yeah. What I see is that people automatically, like, I'm in the real estate marketing industry, so
Right.
primarily that's our number one focus. And I feel like it's pretty transferable through different industries, is
Sure.
where individuals will transfer the fact that they were working some 9 to 5, and they think that they're
Yeah.
doing this 9 to 5 thing again, but they're doing it for their own company. And
Right.
so they're looking for, okay, what is the standard procedure, SOPs and KPIs to what I need to be
Yeah.
doing in my business. And so, like, my wife quit her job teaching, and
Yeah.
so then doesn't check anymore. So she's like figuring out, like, what do I need to be doing every single day to move the needle forward, to make it happen. And she's still, figuring it out. And then every so often I try to help her out and slow down and,
Uh-huh.
like, hey, let's talk about this. What do you got going on? What's happening? How are
Uh-huh.
the ads? Why are they not working? Maybe you got to hire a coach, all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's where I feel like a lot of individuals out there, first and foremost, like, don't even think to themselves about what it would look like if in a perfect world you were to
Yeah.
make what income,
Right.
what would you be doing? How would you be waking up?
Yeah.
What would you be traveling? Would you
Yeah.
have a family? Like, what does that look like? And then it's like, then the next step is, it's like delegation.
Mm-hmm.
How do you delegate something that no one can do anything better than
And
you
now
because you're the
delegating
best?
to a robot.
Yeah, and now delegating to a robot, which might be a little easier than a person. I don't know.
I did an episode on the 6 levels of delegation to humans and bots because I think people don't know the difference between like a button pusher and like a decision maker, right? And everything in between.
Mm,
But yeah, going back to what you're saying, it sounds like a lot like the identity stuff I was talking about,
yeah.
and how I put them through their 5D identity, and like
Mm,
let's cast that vision and then let's brainwash ourselves with it. And so
hmm.
and that's like a way to kind of like, okay, I can finally see that light at the end of the tunnel now,
Hmm.
like I want to make $500,000. Why not 450,000? Like, what is that going to do? Like, how much time do you have? Like, what are you volunteering more at school, or are you homeschooling your kid, or are you like,
Hmm.
what does that look like? You
Hmm.
know,
I love
it's
that.
just, it's so different for everyone. And that's also, and I'm so grateful for it. But, and it happens on Zoom all the time, but like, I feel like that's where my intuition comes through a lot too.
Mm,
Cause I can really hear like what someone's saying as
hmm.
they're saying it and they're pouring their heart out.
Hmm.
Cause I mean, I just open up one question and they'll go for 20 minutes. And I just
Mm,
like listen because they're so overwhelmed, right?
yeah.
And the way that they describe their problem and the way that they victimize it or triumph or explain it away, or, and I'm easily able to be like, oh, okay, that's self-worth. Oh,
Mm,
okay, that's you're too busy. Like, what are you
hmm.
afraid of? Or, like all of these
Hmm.
things, because I've been through so much of it,
Yeah.
I can identify it. So it just, yeah.
And you're in your alignment because You've gone through the
Yeah.
things that you've gone through, and it built the character of who you are today
Right.
to then navigate that specific person and that conversation to help them and then
Yeah.
break down barriers and get them to the next level. And I'm very similar but different. Like I do a lot of consulting.
Uh-huh.
That's what I do for a living at
Yeah.
Liftoff Agent and coaching. And I probably could, and I'm gonna push into the arena of a little bit more of like kind of because we're not a coach,
Uh-huh.
we're a marketing agency.
Right.
But then I do like to make sure that the goals are in alignment of why you're hiring
Because
us.
you can't market without having this. I told someone the other day, like they have this big business and they're
Mm.
like, we want to get to 2 million. And I was like, I'm not doing that for you. We need to
Mm-hmm.
fix your systems and processes and
Mm-hmm.
get you profitable.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can bring in 2 million. You're bringing in 1 million now and you're not making anything.
Mm.
So I get it. And it must be hard for a lot of marketing agencies if
Yeah.
they don't see that side of it,
Yeah.
because you can market all you want, but if you're bringing water or if you're bringing things into a boat that's leaking and sinking, it doesn't matter how much you bring in
No.
at all.
No.
Marketing is not the first thing. It's not
Mm-mm.
more customers. It's not more money.
Mm-hmm.
It's not more visibility unless you
Mm-hmm.
got it flowing inside.
And that's exactly what we do, systems and process. It's like
Yeah.
let's
Talk
have
dirty
the
to me.
SOPs,
Hmm.
KPIs, and let's go through that process so
Yeah.
you can save the time with the SOPs.
Right.
Because I think that even before AI, I think you got to think about what it looks like as far as we said earlier, like your alignment and vision, goals, where you want to go, and
Hmm.
then building the foundation. And that could be type forms to mini chat
Yep.
to videos that you're filming to traffic you're driving to a website to those type forms to retargeting and planting Facebook pixels and doing that. And then you get into the AI stuff, which then
Right.
can write your scripts and can go through and automation with follow-up and sending
Hmm.
emails and text message and all this type of stuff. So let's go a little bit deeper into AI. So after someone's like, they know their goals,
Hmm.
they know where they're going.
Hmm.
Now they want to scale their business, and you're going to put some parameters around them as far as SOPs, KPIs with like AI.
Uh-huh.
What are some things that you see in a business
Yeah.
with AI that works like really well to help with save time or SOPs, KPIs?
One gal, she had a 2 mil pet business in PA, and we basically shut down her phone. We looked at, where she was spending the time, and like
Mm,
their call log, they didn't have a call log before they started. So I
mm,
made them do a call log for 2 weeks, like when I
okay.
first got in there.
Yeah.
And we just saw that they were spending so much labor on the phone and doing things. I'm like, no, 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 no. People need to go online. They need to book their grooming. They need to book their pet sitting. They need to do all this stuff. And your phone tree needs to go to like voice boxes. Like you need to
Mm.
just stop this, because everything that people were asking was things that could already be automated, right? And so we cut a ton of
I'm
time.
loving this. I'm loving this. Keep giving it to me.
But the problem with that is we were able to solve it internally. But then she stopped and fell off the wagon
Mm,
because we were getting too deep, maybe. I don't know. But like
mm.
her website is still a mess. Like
Okay.
you would probably cry if you saw it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I hope she's not listening to this, but it's just it's not functional.
Interesting.
And so yeah, you can kind of go online and do it if you go to this one page on her site, but and it's definitely not AI. There's no schema on it. There's no FAQs on it. There's no TLDRs,
Mm.
so to speak. There's no like constant content on there.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
Mm-hmm.
keywords on like social media, like in every
Mm.
single posting. It's all AI slop, down
Mm.
to like AI generated pictures that I love using AI with pictures, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
but I like taking your original pictures
Yeah.
and then enhancing them with AI.
Yeah.
I don't believe that the AI pictures are for the general public, something that everyone can
Yeah.
be using, general public.
Yeah.
Um, so what was the question again?
Now the who like example wise
Yeah,
AI to
yeah,
help
yeah.
systems process.
Yeah, and then okay, so then another huge thing that we do is we take like the employee handbook and manual or SOPs or whatever kind of thing that they have a struggle with, like, oh my gosh, they're asking me stupid questions all the time. Okay, let's make a bot from it that they can talk to. And they
Yep.
say, hey, what do I do with this? Or things like again, depending on the businesses, like if you have to have regular communication, this could be doctor's offices, this could
Mm-hmm.
be notes, this could be whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Again, putting in your making a GPT for it so that your
Mm.
your workers can just be like, yo, XYZ ABC. And then it's like
Mm.
all in your branding voice.
Mm-hmm.
And now you don't have to also have writers on your team,
Mm-hmm.
and it's more accurate that way. Smoothing up the onboarding process and having things like for either clients or for new employees, and
Mm-hmm.
building out an employee 100-day cycle. Before, you used to have to like think of things to do, and now based off of who you are, what your budget is, you can
Mm-hmm.
build this stuff out and automate it. I mean, like I said, it's so different in every single scenario.
I love it.
But like I had a gal a couple weeks ago, we had an hour-and-a-half session,
Mm-hmm.
Norman, and she kept saying wow. And I pulled, because usually I'm working on AI as I'm working with them,
Yeah.
because I'm like, oh, we could do this right here. And so we're talking, and I pulled the transcript, and she said wow every 5 minutes. It was 18 times. And she's just like, wow, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could do that. And that's
Yes.
why I also say, like, I don't think you should have any kind of consultant
Mm-hmm.
or business coach or anything in your business. If they're not using the AI tool,
Mm-hmm.
then you are now paying someone like 10 times the amount because they're that much slower,
Yeah.
So SOPs, like, so what are your major problems in your company? Once you do problems and once you figure out what you're doing as an entrepreneur every single day in your business, and we take that audit, then we can figure out how to implement
Mm.
AI and how to do it. And like I said, it's so different for everybody.
Yeah. No, I absolutely love that. And
Thank you.
you're speaking my language because, and this is where I feel like this show is super powerful because, we're talking a little bit about the woo and the do. So I'm going to use Nico's term there.
They're all, it's real though. The
It
woo is
is.
science.
It is
It's
science.
science that literally our government has tried to suppress because the pharma wouldn't get their money. I mean,
Yeah.
it's fact. Like, go look it up.
Yeah. Well, not to go too far go left because I was going right there, but
Sorry.
there is a lot of things that suppress the fact that we aren't a proactive intentional species.
Yeah.
I think when you take the proactive intentionality out of a species as a human species, we're talking specifically, that is a being that could think for itself,
Mm-hmm.
and you give it medication and you give it fucking, whatever, like here's your Monday through Friday pills.
Yeah.
It really dumbs you down to a point where you're just kind of living.
Yeah.
You're not really thriving.
Right.
And so that's where I feel like with businesses, there's so much that can happen, which what you're talking about, where
Yeah.
and I tell agents all the time, it's just like, and this is a prime example, and this is going to make perfect sense to why hire you, and this will be a shameless plug.
Oh, thanks.
How many times have you talked to someone on the phone, okay, and answered the same question over and over again, or bent over backwards for someone
Oh,
because whatever, it was a big client, the money, you had bills coming up, whatever else, and literally felt like, oh my god, the money wasn't worth it.
right.
And that's where
Yeah.
AI, hiring Bella, have the SOPs, having the KPIs, and
Yeah.
having a website where then if and it's this simple, and I tell agents all the time, I said, if your future customer can't
Mhm.
follow, and this isn't about like not having a human connection and
It's gonna be
conversation.
agent soon.
I know,
So.
right? It's like, if they can't follow a process and go to a
Yeah.
website and fill out a form and get the answers to the questions answered themselves,
Right.
then is it going to be an ideal client for you?
Right.
Because that's where I'm at in my life. It's like, I don't care to work with, and that's why I'm extremely
Qualify.
transparent online,
Mm-hmm.
because that's me, and being transparent online is my qualification.
Yes.
Because you did your research, which
Yes.
qualified me, and you
Mhm.
did it on your own.
Yeah.
You can even use ChatGPT. Hey,
I knew this was gonna come up. I knew this was gonna come up.
Really?
And I'm gonna show you that I'm totally cutting you off right now.
You're good.
1000% cutting you off.
What you got?
I want you can just read this.
All right.
This is me and Chatty. Tell me more about his biography, how long he's been married, where he's from, where he came from, how did he start his company, what is
shit.
he known for?
Oh
Tell
shit.
me. I want to go in there feeling like I know I did my homework. What is it all about? And so it tells me everything it could scrape from the internet from you. And I'm just talking to it as I'm trying to beat my GPS time on the way to the
No
podcast episode.
shit.
Yeah, because why not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's out there. I know you're a
Yes.
digital marketer. I know you're like me,
Yes.
where you can Google Bella Vasta and I'll come up on 20 pages of Google.
Yep.
You know, like there's so much out there.
Yes.
And why not?
Why not? And that's where
I want to have a real conversation. I want to know who I'm talking to.
Well, that's why I had
I
I
trusted
had your
Olenka.
intake form, so all I had to
Oh,
do is
yeah.
go through the
You did
intake
say
form.
that.
So that was easier for me.
Yeah.
And also I also like I do my research, but I don't go too deep just
Right.
because I want to have an organic
You
conversation.
don't want to have preconceived notions. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's where I've been having more conversations where for business owners out there, and this is a prime example,
Yeah.
where it's no longer, it still is, where like a person will say, hey, you need to go on this podcast, or you'll get a referral from a friend, an
Right.
uncle, a sister, a mother.
Yeah.
But now AI is doing the recommendations.
Right.
AI is lit, and I tell agents, I say, hey, I want you to go through a couple questions, prompts on fucking ChatGPT,
Yeah.
and ask it,
Yep.
who do you recommend in North Phoenix?
I just posted an episode about this yesterday.
See?
Because how search is evolving. I think last year everyone was freaking out that SEO was going to be dead. I hate those words, by the way. And
Alive and
it's not,
thriving.
it's just, it's evolving.
Yeah.
And so like I am getting on my intake forms now. How did you hear about me? ChatGPT. I'm like, yeah. And the people that are getting it on AI, and business owners need to know this.
Yeah.
When I get a reference from Chat or Claude,
Yeah.
I'm already trusting it.
Yeah.
I'm already in a conversation that I trust. It's not me clicking on 10 blue links on Google, getting information paralysis and not knowing where to go and wondering if it applies to my situation. If Chat suggests that I should work with you, I'm already more bought into it than I was with Google.
100%. And you can even ask the question, why?
Right.
Why do you recommend this company or this
and can
person?
you compare and contrast him with others and give me a chart so I can see, what he's known for and stuff?
Yeah.
Business owners need to know that, like, you cannot get your head out of the sand. You didn't blog because you thought it was too much. Now you don't have the content. Now you're behind. Okay. You didn't do the SOPs because you were too afraid to put what you wanted on paper and then hold boundaries to it. Now you got to catch up. So let's go, because we can do it quicker than ever now. And then once we get that, we can build off of it with your team. Ergo, don't call me for a stupid question. I want you to go ask Chatty Chat that I gave you that has all my policies and procedures in it.
Yes.
And your policy and procedure is, did you ask Chatty Chat first before you came to me?
Let's go. Let's go. One of those. It is so true, and it's so interesting how, like, in today's day and age, like when it comes to any business owner out there, you can literally, like you talked about a couple things just now, and I'll add to it, do a video talking about not just what you do, but showing people what you do so they could do it themselves.
Yeah.
Turning that video into a blog.
Yeah.
Having it on your website.
Yeah.
Driving trust and subscribers to your, it's like the new age email newsletter, YouTube, whatever.
Substack, all that stuff.
You name it. You get Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. It's like no longer do you need to have an email campaign, which you should have as well, as much as you can have social media where people will then subscribe to you if you add enough value.
Yes.
And then from there, you literally will be recommended because of ChatGPT.
Yes.
And then when they go to the website, not only should they already know, like, and trust and be sold, but they should also be able to get their answers to their answers question, or opposite, their answers answered through the questions that are on the website. So they have all their answers already. They already filled the intake form. They already have a meeting with you, and potentially they already paid.
Yeah. I have an example. So I just did this fun thing. It's called AI for the Busy Human. And I kept getting asked by my friends, because my friends are all like, you know so much. And I'm like, I really don't, because I like hang around people that know so much more than me. But for them, I do. And they're like, you need to teach classes. And I was like, I don't want to sell butts in a seat. Like, if you can get people together and, whatever. But so what I did is I created 12 episodes. They're 15 minutes-ish each. And they're solving everyday problems, because we have a whole collective society that is scared about AI and is starting to come online about it, right? Which is so further away from like what we actually can do. But the behavior is coming up. It's like, I'm not going to Blockbuster to get a DVD anymore. I'm going to stream it from my bed, right? And so it's like how to use AI to solve what's for dinner, how to use AI for an IEP, how to use AI next time you go to the doctor, or to take all of your wearables and like help your life, right? So there's all these different, how to plan a vacation, right? And I give people prompts. And does it really have to do with business? No.
Mm.
No, it's like this like little digital calling card, but again, because of the power of influence, and like so everyone's already listening to it and it's fun. I'm gonna put it out on the local news stations because I think
Let's
that'd be
go.
fun too, just to
Yeah.
kind of get it out there, try to help my exposure. It's in alignment with my excitement for
Yeah.
AI right now. But
Mm-hmm.
what we did and what made me think about this is when you're saying, keyword search. I'm not going after like the big words that are already in it. I'm working with Claude. I'm like, okay, what are the medium words that people are posting in that have to do with AI and planning a trip that we can put in here on YouTube and on the post to kind of get that traction and get that traffic?
Yes.
Because the more I can get, the better, right? And I'm not
Yes.
going to go after like the big ones. It's not just that AI search, but now I don't have to go to Google Search Console and like use my brain and I can just give it the prompt of like, we're looking for like the medium keywords, the ones that we actually can achieve as like a
Mm.
small fish, right? Not a
Mm-hmm.
big corporation.
Mm-hmm.
And then how can we make the script so that is that and the transcripts that are on there, like everything, right? And so it's
Mm.
like, it's AI forces you to have a strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have a strategy with AI,
Mm-hmm.
that's where you don't like AI.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when you ask people like, oh yeah, do you use AI? They're like, yeah. I'm like, tell me the last 3 things you did with it because it's a spectrum.
Yes.
Everyone uses it different. And the other new, I don't know if you've done this yet, but it's like, can you show me what your Claude looks like? I want to see how you have it set up because you learn so much about how
Mm.
people are doing it.
Yeah,
It's
no.
so funny. It's like, how do you
Interesting.
have it set up?
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like from the perspective of what you're saying, as far as people like starting to share like their emotional feelings and whatever the case may
Yeah.
be, and whatever, it's almost like them just being afraid to evolve with it.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, let's put
It's
up
that
all these
mirror
walls
again.
and barriers. Yeah,
It's
it's
the
back
mirror.
back to the original, right?
AI is making you figure out what kind of human you are
Yes.
if you want to be successful with it.
Yes, 100%.
That's
And
all it is.
and
And that's why it's uncomfortable for people.
it's so interesting because as soon as you use it to a point where like
God mode.
I'm writing a book. I didn't do God mode, I did Dan mode.
Oh,
Dan mode, apparently Dan mode gives you the unfiltered, raw,
I haven't
like
heard that.
fucking yeah.
See, this
It's
is the
called
fun stuff.
Dan mode.
Okay.
So I am writing a book and
Yeah.
I wanted to proofread some shit. So I was diagnosed with a learning disability, tubes in my ears, held back in 3rd grade, yada yada
Uh-huh.
yada. So long story short, I've been using it for all types of stuff. I did. There's a book called "Becoming Your Future Self Now,"
Uh-huh.
and you're supposed to write a letter from your
Yeah.
future self to your current self. So I did
Yeah.
that. Helped with all this stuff, and so now I can go to ChatGPT and literally ask it, and
Uh-huh.
it'll tell me who I am.
I
Back to
love it.
what you just
I
said,
love it.
which is so amazing.
Yeah.
And then what I also want to say is the fact that you're doing that series of just helping people in their everyday life that are busy humans.
Yeah.
It's like this. It's like doing the things that you like to do.
Uh-huh.
Like I like cars.
Yeah.
And for some reason, like people are in alignment with that, which makes sense.
Yeah.
There's a huge car culture out here. So I only
I'm going
have
to
like,
Cars and Coffee tomorrow.
which one is it?
Up in Scottsdale Airport.
Airport. Okay, there's a
Yeah.
Cars and Coffee. Is that
The
the
pavilions too. There's a couple of them.
is
'Cause
that
it's
the
the first.
pavilions, the Highline?
I'm not going to that one. It's
That one's
another
on
one. Yeah.
Sunday, I think it is.
Okay.
Interesting. You have to send me the information.
Okay.
So long story short, I'm like, I don't know, 3,000 followers. I don't even know how many I have right now, but I'm reaching 350,000 people.
Okay.
And I have one video that's almost 500,000 views, and it
Wow.
does not stop.
That's
It's been
amazing.
2 months. It
Evergreen.
hasn't stopped.
Wow.
Evergreen.
Wow.
And so now people, like you said, I'm doing something to help people. It's in my alignment, but guess what? They build a know, like, and trust.
Right.
Then they're curious, and
Yep.
curiosity kills the cat. Who is
Yes.
this person? Why are they doing this?
Yes.
I want more information.
I want more about him.
Or her.
Uh-huh.
And then it's almost like, who do I know that potentially I can refer that
Right.
can then use her or his services?
Exactly.
Because I feel it's back to a book called The 7 Triggers to Yes on a psychology forefront. You do something for someone else, not expecting something in return. It's
Reciprocity
automatically.
rule. Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's where I feel like more people out there could figure out as a business owner
Yeah.
what it is that you like to do. And it could be golf, it could be food, it could be traveling, it could be cars, you name it, pickleball. Go do that thing. Have fun filming yourself.
Yeah.
Do some skits if you want. Whatever is in your, your alignment and makes sense to you.
Yeah.
And then you get people that start coming in,
I
and
know.
then your Instagram's your fucking resume.
I know.
It's all the
Isn't
links
that great?
and everything right there.
Isn't that great? It's so great. And I love the point that you made, and I think it's true, is that once you push past that like self-reflection thing,
Hmm.
AI, I don't know about you, but I
Mm-hmm.
haven't ever been so wildly creative
Mm.
because it's taken away the mundane, like stuff that trips up my brain or
Mm-hmm.
stops it and
Mm-hmm.
takes away that creative energy. It takes care of that stuff for me. So I'm
Interesting.
able to be like, oh, I can do this now too. Because it's
Mm.
so like I would never think about publishing another podcast of 12 episodes where I'd have to write all the descriptions. I'd have to come up with all the pictures.
Yeah.
There was a lot of work. And I
Yeah.
learned a lot about HTML code and
Mm-hmm.
Elementor when I was
Mm-hmm.
doing all of that. Oh my God, I learned a lot. But I was proud, like much like my daughter with PS5.
Yeah.
I didn't fail. I just
Mm-hmm.
learned a lot of different ways it doesn't work
Mm-hmm.
and the right way to do it.
Exactly.
And so it was a little passion project
I
for
love
me,
that.
you know?
And I feel like anyone who's viewing and listening, find out what gets you going. Get that
Yeah.
extra, like say as an example, so we before we got on air talked about there's an Insta 360 and we'll probably get some short form content now. And it only was at 54%, so it didn't last the whole time. I got about 40, 50 minutes on it.
That's okay.
So I'm going to send that content to the team and
Uh-huh.
they're going to have some fun editing. Now, the reason why I even have that, and here's going to be a use case scenario for any business owner.
Uh-huh.
So I'm flying out to Nashville, Tennessee on Tuesday.
Okay.
And I'm going to a real estate conference.
Lovely.
And so basically I was like, I want to bring on a media company because I've been going to Fashion Square and I've been doing street interviews. And
Oh,
I've been
cool.
asking general public, do you own or do you rent? And wanting to see if I potentially is a School of Hard Knocks guy
Uh-huh.
that's reaching millions of people
Yeah.
doing street interviews.
Amazing. I'm
Now-
so obsessed with those because it's curious. You never
Yeah.
know what's going to come out of someone's mouth.
Curiosity kills a cat. It's
Mhm.
organic. You never going to come out. And now there's actually a company that does that. There's
Okay.
actually a company that hires models to go out to interview people on the street. That's in alignment with whatever company it is. It's
Okay.
crazy. So long story short, I'm like, all right, cool. Maddie Moves, check him out. He was on the podcast. He's amazing. And he was going to come with me to the event. So he's going to be coming. Long story short, he's at about 3,500. And so that's not hotel, that's not the airfare, and then I need to find out if he could just go. And typically it's better instead of asking for permission, just ask for forgiveness, right?
We are so in alignment.
So our last event, he came and it was a follow-up Zillow event, and we just had him come in and it was fine.
Yeah.
We probably could have did that, but because we're flying and all the other things,
Right.
so they're like, oh no, you're gonna have to pay full price. It's $850. So we're like, all right, okay. $850 for the ticket, $450 for the airfare, hotel stay,
Mhm.
his $3,500. So we're almost at 5,000 now. So I'm like, okay, 5,000. Now I am going because there's a coach that I work with, and he already has a couple clients for us in the space.
Yeah.
And so I'm going in with the mindset of like, it's in alignment, it's gonna be fun. I already have some people to meet, we're gonna be doing business. But I'm like, So I talked to Maddie and I'm like, hey, Maddie, I don't know if this is going to work out. And he went all the way down to like $1,500.
Oh, wow.
And then with the ticket and everything else, like $2,700.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know if this is going to work out. I'm going to go into the forum and just ask if someone knows a media person there and we'll see what's up. And so then I was like looking proactively for other opportunities.
Uh-huh.
I've been wanting an Insta 360 for a long time.
Okay.
And it was like $710
Okay.
for the Insta 365 and a bunch of different pieces that come with it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck it, I'll interview myself. I'll put the fucking camera up. You won't
Yeah.
see the stick or anything.
Right.
And then my editor has full range to be able to move around on the video. You can
Uh-huh.
like move around and it's like on the touch screen, and then you can do any angle you want.
Oh, I love it.
And so then, and it can even do framing. So it'll frame on the person perfectly. And I have a
Wow.
microphone. So I'm going to hold it out. I'm going to plug in my microphone. Fuck you, event. And I'm going to go because it's like we're bringing a media company to give them exposure.
Right. No
So-
kidding.
So I'm not going to say their name once. I'm
Yeah.
not going to say the company's name.
Right.
I'm not going to say who
Right.
nothing. I'm going to go. I'm going to take over the fucking event
Right.
with my bow tie and suspenders. I'm going to interview fucking a shit ton of people
Uh-huh.
and get my next interview series out.
I love that. Way to go. And how to be creative and be in alignment and have fun with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And what does that make possible?
Yeah.
Right? Like that's
Well,
so dope.
now I'm gonna get the mount for the car. I'm gonna be shooting some flames on the freeway with the GTR. I have all these other things that now I want to do too. And then I made sure to get the limited edition white one, so it has hopefully more value. So if
Oh
ever I
my
want to sell it in the
goodness.
future,
I
I can.
love it.
And then I was like, let's use it right now.
Yeah.
Let's set that
I
shit
love
up
that. I
and
love
use
it.
it this second.
I love
A
it.
third camera angle.
Absolutely. Let's go.
So that's where I feel like people out there,
Yeah.
it's like be more like proactive and
Right.
resourceful
And
and think
creative.
and
Like,
creative.
what's the worst that could happen? Like, what's the worst that could happen?
Nothing.
Why not?
You're gonna kick me
How-
out? I already
How
paid for a
good
ticket.
can this get?
Exact.
Let's go.
Let's go. and And that's exactly what I want to do, because that's
Yeah.
the thing that they don't think. And when you all go to conferences and you go out there and you do what you do,
Right.
I think that people forget that the actual opportunity is the actual conference.
Yeah.
And it's not
It's in the
so much,
hallways.
it's in the hallways,
Yep.
it's the networking. It's not always the people who are speaking when you're sitting
Nope.
there trying to take notes and you're
Nope.
listening to their story and all that type of shit. No,
That's like the
it's
cherry
the
on top. Like the
correct.
actual Sunday is the events, and it's
Yes,
in the
it's
hallways.
the hallways, the hotels, the freaking,
The dinners, the lunches, the coffees, the
yes,
walking to the event conference, the finding
yes,
someone in the middle of the hallway, getting out of your phone, talking to someone, saying hi,
yep,
all of it.
yep.
Making meetings beforehand, getting invited to like the after hours or the,
Mm-hmm.
the little side meetings and
Yep.
stuff.
Yep. So I'm gonna do the AI glasses with the freaking Insta360.
I love it.
Plus, I have the two phones, and
The
I'm
Ray
just
Bans, is that
gonna.
what you're talking about? The
I
AI
actually
glasses?
have different ones.
Oh, okay. I
They're
have Ray Bans. I love
Ciron or
them.
some shit,
Okay.
but yeah, the Ray Bans are cool too. But
Yeah.
I'm kind of a little bit more of a rebel,
Okay.
so I'm more of a Android over an
Oh,
iPhone.
I was thinking I liked you up until you said like
But I have
Android.
both.
Yeah.
But I have both. And so I had so I got the other glasses because they're more Android based, and
Uh,
then they're like a fraction of the cost. I'm like, all right,
yeah.
this is cheap. Let's just try
Okay.
them out. And they
Yeah.
also they film so 16:9 instead of 9:16. So
Oh.
more YouTube
Right, right,
instead of
right.
short form.
Right.
So I
That is
probably gonna get another
that makes
pair
sense.
or something like that.
All right, so you're smart.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll give it to you.
but this is the thing. I feel like also having contrast, right?
Uh-huh.
Like you don't know what you don't know. Where like Android's good for me. I like this phone for some reason for shopping,
Mhm.
crypto, investments,
Mhm.
like that type of stuff. I'm
Mhm.
on this phone, and then I use this for media.
Yeah.
All media, video is going to be here.
The Apple phone he's holding up. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where I feel like I have kind of the best of both worlds. So
That's incredible.
we'll see. We'll see how the event goes.
I like that.
I'm excited to make that happen. And I want to go back to you said something earlier about getting on massive stages.
Yeah.
Where are you in alignment with getting on massive stages? And I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a mix of conversation, but when you think about being on that stage, speaking to those individuals, like what comes up for you? Like, what type of conversation do you imagine you talking to them about?
Thank you for asking that and creating the space to even ask that.
Of course.
So I'm going to start off with when I speak, I don't need anyone to remember my name. I want it to be like I
Mm.
took them to church. Like their heart was opened up and they left different than what they were. And they heard something that I said. There's no new like things, right? There's no
Yeah.
new ideas out there.
Yeah.
But there was something about me being in my alignment and speaking, channeling and speaking from my heart that changed the trajectory of their life. I want
Mm.
them to walk out feeling like they thought that they couldn't do something when they came in and they can when they go out. And
Mm.
it just so happens that, I mean, right before COVID, I was on stages all the way to like London talking about monetizing Facebook groups because those were the
Mm.
people that was where the opportunity was,
Yeah.
right? And I got keynotes and all kinds of things from that. And then I didn't, I was in my phase.
Mm.
And so now, like, I don't know what it looks like. I think it's going to be like a speaker series.
Okay.
That's what I kind of see. But it's going to be me holding my own and it's going to be like a motivational kind of thing.
Mm.
Um, like I said, give me the microphone and tell me who the audience is or what you want me to speak on, and I will go.
Mm.
And I feel like my whole entire life's been prepared for that. So does that answer your question? Like,
I absolutely love that. And I want to go a
like
little.
that the content of it
Yeah.
isn't so important.
Yeah. It's the
And I hope
outcome.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I literally want the change of heart to
Yeah.
happen. And I
Yeah.
believe I've been given the gift and the capacity to hold
Mm.
that like tons of people
Yeah.
and to hold it. I don't, it's way bigger than me,
Mm.
way bigger than me.
Mm.
And I used to think it was a curse or I was too much or anything like that. And I realized, no, it was like, you have this powerful gun and you have to learn how to like, hone it in and like, not shoot all your bullets at once
Mm-hmm.
or go full
Mm-hmm.
force. You have to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to temper it. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a lot of what I've learned in the past decade. And that's why I love doing podcasts because I get to talk to people.
Amen.
But yeah, that's how I
So
see it.
I want to go deeper on something that you said.
Please.
And I don't know if you all caught this. She said, I don't even care if people remember my name.
I don't. It's not about me.
See,
It's about serving.
that is the highest level of alignment that you can possibly be in, because this is the thing. above popular belief, everyone thinks legacy, the name, family legacy, carry it on, and all this type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And if you really go down and go all the way down to the nitty gritty and the deep that you can go, it's like, you know, how many generations does there have to be before you'll be forgotten? I'll be forgotten. We'll
I'll be
just
written
be.
about on AI, so I
There
don't
you
need a
go. I
legacy.
like
Like it's
that. I like
already,
that.
I'm
Okay.
already. You ask the AI who Bella Vasta is, my legacy is already on there.
There you
Up
go.
until this point.
I love that. I love that. But I love the fact that like when you can be in such alignment where it doesn't so much matter about you specifically getting another follower, getting another like, or
Mhm.
them knowing your name. It's just knowing that you're here to serve, you're supporting, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do,
Yeah.
and it's helping them get to that next level of alignment, wakefulness, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
I
So,
had a keynote that I did in Kansas,
hmm,
and it was to a whole bunch of foster care recruiters, like people who were trying to get kids in foster care.
hmm,
And I was like, what do I possibly have to say to these people? Like,
mm,
what do I know about the system? Nothing. But I pulled it off, and not pulled it off, I nailed it,
mm,
and like had people crying and people inspired. I mean, these people have kids who have no home, sleeping in their office at
mm,
night because they don't have a place to go.
mm,
And it was my job to come in and motivate them to do the best that they can at their job.
mm,
I didn't have to know how to do their job. I
mm,
needed to know how to motivate them as a person and be like, you can do this.
mm.
And this is like how you can do this. And this is why you are doing this. And this is,
Mm,
you know, like it was such a out of body experience. Probably one of the most meaningful groups of people I've spoken to
wow.
because of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And so to be put in the juxtapose of that
Mm-hmm.
and to be given like the ability, now obviously it doesn't last forever, right?
Yeah.
But just to have that moment in time,
Mm.
like that's the stuff that matters to me. So
Oh
that's
my
why I'm
God.
like, I don't care who it is or what it is, or I'm not like, hey, I only talk about this only to these people. Like, this is so much
Mm.
bigger than me, Norman.
Mm-hmm.
And I've known it
Mm-hmm.
and I felt it.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't feel the need to control it, because it's there.
It just
It's
is.
just everything's preparing me for that.
I love that. I love that. Congratulations. And it's
Thank you.
interesting. I was talking to it's a joke, but I call her my work wife.
Yeah,
She's in the Philippines and she's like the number one first hire in the Philippines and she's amazing. So she
that's
helps out with
awesome.
billing and HR and hiring, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, what's next. And I'm like, stages
Uh-huh.
and keynote speaking and
Really?
like more podcasts and what's next is like build the sales division to a point where like I'm like 6 months out where I don't have to do anything for the business. The business will
Yeah.
run itself. So then I'm
Right.
gonna be the spokesperson, and do the other things. And it's interesting because like now I'm talking to you and you've done so much keynote speaking already.
Yeah.
And then you have even bigger aspirations for bigger stages to do even more.
Yes.
And it's like anyone who's out there, you have a big dream and you want to get a new car and you start seeing it everywhere.
You
That's
got to brainwash yourself.
yes, and that's you like in alignment and on the right path.
Yeah.
Right path. Just
Hmm.
like what I was talking right now, I feel like, oh my God, like I'm on the right path.
Yes.
And it's just absolutely amazing. And so that's where too I'm excited on my side to break the mold a little bit
Uh-huh.
because we are a marketing agency and typically we're just sponsors.
Uh-huh.
We're not within, oh yeah, no, get on stage for free. No,
Right.
we pay. It's
Yeah.
bullshit. So I want to break that mold so people could be like, oh wow, like we need this person on the stage because
Yes.
he's doing something that's
You have something
completely.
valuable to offer the world,
Hmm.
especially when you're in alignment.
Amen.
It's like we all can be in alignment and we all have gifts. And that sounds so simple,
Yeah.
but it's so complex for us to understand.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as you go through your journey,
Mm.
because we're all on a journey and we're all in different hills and valleys, and it just keeps going. It doesn't stop. We don't
Yeah.
ever actually arrive anywhere.
No, we don't.
Um, I forget what I was saying, honestly.
Peaks, valleys, don't arrive
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah, it's
Being in
just
alignment.
it's simple. It's
Yeah.
simple. What is your dream?
Mm.
And it's not hard. People always say like, "What's something you've always wanted to do that you haven't done?" I'm like, "I've done it." Like I usually do it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have a thing in my head and I do it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm lucky every single day. Like
I love
every
it.
single day my daughter, maybe she wakes me up because she likes to sing.
Mm.
She can hear music and play it on the piano. Um,
Wow.
she might be singing at the top of her lungs at
Mm.
5:58 in the morning.
Wake up call. Let's go.
Oh my God. And I always go back to it's the programming. It's like, oh my God, I'm so happy that I can hear you sing. Like that's such a blessing. And it's those little practices, and it's often the people closest to us that we're
Mm,
attracted in or sent into
mm,
that teach us the biggest lessons, the biggest karmic lessons, or the whoever POs you the most.
mm,
You have something to learn there. You have a way to respond. You have a
mm,
reflection to say, why does this actually bother me this much? Like, where does that come from?
mm-hmm.
And do I agree with it or do I want to change it?
Yeah.
And that's the journaling. That's the meditation. That's the projection of the 5D. That's the just getting quiet with yourself. But it's uncomfortable
Yes.
and you're constantly learning.
Yes.
It doesn't ever stop.
Never.
So you have to just embrace it. You have to be like, okay, dang it. Like heartache. Love life is the way that God likes to get my attention.
Mm,
And but I've learned so much about myself.
yeah.
And I'm grateful for it because
Mm-hmm.
I don't regret anything. I really don't. And again, it sounds cliche, but if I didn't
Mm,
have that, I wouldn't know this.
mm-hmm.
And I think that's what it is. And yeah, when I
Well,
speak, I get into this like preacher moment where I don't even remember what I said or
yeah.
how I does it. And I get into this. You can see it on camera sometimes because I'll change my like tempo, and that like the spirit's taken over me,
Yep.
and it's so glorious.
It's like channeling. It's
Yes,
you're channeling
yes,
your higher self, God,
yes,
the divine, what have you.
yes.
And back to what you just said, I just want to say that like if anything was any different in your life,
I wouldn't be who I am today.
and you wouldn't be sitting there right now,
No, I wouldn't.
and we wouldn't be having this conversation.
I
And
wouldn't.
if anything happened differently in your life, you
Yeah,
wouldn't be here right now listening and or viewing
yeah.
this podcast.
My divorce is connected to me being here. If I didn't have my divorce, I wouldn't have actually gone as close to Olenka. Her and I knew of each other,
Yeah.
but we grew together over that topic. And then we
Mm,
grew business. And so when
wow.
Olenka said to me 2 months ago, hey, you need to be on this guy's podcast, here's the link. I was like, okay, I really don't know who he is. That's a long podcast. I can talk forever. I love that. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh God, he's way beyond my bubble and Gilbert. Okay, whatever. And then I was like, oh shoot, like, cause I went to Baja and I was like,
Yep.
I had to reschedule.
Yep.
And now I'm here and it makes so much sense why I'm here. Like this just flows. And so if I wasn't divorced, I wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
known Linka, and Olenka wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
have showed me to come to here and have
Mm-hmm.
this and share this space and share this moment
Yeah.
and this excitement for life.
Yeah. That's what it's
So
about.
thank you. Thank you for
Of
having
course.
the space and co-creating all this.
Of course.
I'm very
No,
grateful.
no, I'm grateful for you too. And
Yeah.
and life is beautiful. And I feel like we do
Yeah.
need to
Remember that.
remember that. And I just got back and was sick as hell. And
Oh.
it was like almost like an infection to the point of like you're like almost like done. Like I'm done.
Oh.
I'm done. Like
Oh.
that type of feeling, the
Yeah.
body aches and the fever and then all the
Do you
stuff.
still feel that way?
It's disgusting.
Oh
No,
my
I'm good.
God.
I'm good now. I'm
Oh,
good now.
okay.
Yeah, no,
I was
no.
like,
I'm finally better. A
Okay,
little
good.
bit of runny nose, but I'm good now.
Okay.
But no, so I was going through it and it was
Yeah.
just like, what the fuck? And
Just
so
like sit your ass
getting on the
down.
other side of it now, it's like, got it. It was character. It was to
Yeah.
build the character. That's why I went through it, just like my daughter, nonstop complaining
I
in
know how that
Japan
can
and all
go.
the things. And then she got back and she felt like shit. I mean, she was throwing up and she was shitting
Oh.
herself and she was fever and she was all the things and she's middle of the night like a little puppy dog and all the things.
Oh.
And I'll tell you what, she hasn't hardly complained at all. This whole week she's been an angel. I'm like, you're different. She's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, you're different. Like you, like because I was almost like, because with her, you have to kind of escalate a little bit, like as far as either being stern or
Yeah.
the way that you deliver the message, because
Yeah.
she knows.
Right.
You know nothing, she knows everything. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, kid, you're killing me. And so she's been way more timid and not timid, more relaxed and chill, which has been
Sure.
super cool.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you about your podcast. So
Okay.
you asked about the Lift Off experience.
Yeah.
What was the catalyst? Why did you get the podcast started? And where did that come about?
The long one.
Yeah.
Okay, Bella in your business. I started that when I was in NICU. I had
Really?
a house that was, it was my other way to like kind of get out there without having to be out there. And so I started it on my MacBook Pro, my laptop,
Mm-hmm.
and I did it in my closet because it was the only place in my first house that we had a carpet. And I didn't even have a microphone. I just literally did it on on the floor surrounded by clothes. And the first couple episodes are terrible. Like, I mean, it's really hard for me to hear them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have people that have started on the first episode, and then the first 100 episodes, I interviewed people.
Mm.
And then I took it from 200 to 465 now, and it's all my talking. And
Oh.
about 3 months ago, I was doing it every week. And about 3 months ago, I felt it in my spirit. I was like, this isn't in alignment again,
Mm.
right? Like I just felt like I was trying to come up with stuff to say and it
Mm.
wasn't joyful for
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
And so I said, you know what, we're gonna do it every other week now. And that's what we
Mm.
do. So we do it every other week. And on the off weeks, because I have 465 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
I pick a topic. So I say like AI basics. And I'm like, hey, this is the
Mm.
off week episode, but here's 3 episodes you can listen to if you want still Bella in your business. And the spike
Mm.
keeps going up. Like it keeps going up in the off weeks because we're like, oh, want more about hiring employees? Here's 3 episodes you can do. Or you
Mm.
want something about systems and processes? Here's 3 episodes you can do. And so what I did is I had Claude go through all my episodes and say, hey, like group these all together for me,
Mm-hmm.
and so now we're on like a 3 month rotation because
Mm.
I'm not coming up with more and more and more. We already did them, so now we're just rotating them again based off
Nice.
of what ones spoke to people, right? What
Wow.
topics, and so that's been like really great because
Mm.
now I'm
I
not
love
in
that.
this like constant engine of like I have to produce, I have to. I'm like, God dang it! I'm like 450 episodes. Like, when do I get to stop?
Mm.
But I didn't want to stop. But like I just again, like I had to check in with myself.
Oh yeah.
Am I doing this because I'm supposed to do it or because I want to do it?
Yeah.
So now it gives me a good 2 weeks and I'm like, what should I talk about? What have I
Mm.
learned? Oh, you know what? AI search. Let's talk about
Mm.
that. And so I'll talk to Claude for a little bit and I'll tell him what I want to do. And it has a skill set for like how my podcast goes. It's got my timestamps perfectly because it knows how fast I talk. It's
Mm.
always on point. And then I do my script and we're good.
Interesting. So,
Yeah.
what was the catalyst behind doing a solo podcast instead of interviewing individuals?
So, what I realized is after I was interviewing people all the time, first of all, it got really tiring
Okay.
to find someone new to interview every single week.
Mm-hmm.
And I would get some people that were just like, ugh.
Mm.
And other people, it was a way to get in front of people that I normally wouldn't get time with.
Yep.
But then someone told me something that really resonated with me. And my focus was building my brand and who I was.
Mm.
But I wasn't doing any of the thought leadership.
Okay.
I was just sitting there showing up
Yeah.
just to show up.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do much. It was just
Mm.
interviewing people. I would just ask them questions. It'd be over
Mm-hmm.
in 20, 25 minutes. We're done.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I wanted to start talking. And so that's why that
Okay.
switched. Yeah. I
Okay.
wanted to start being the thought process or the thought leader.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. I
Yeah.
think that's great because at the end of the day, it's like if it's in alignment, you know what you want to do and how you
Yeah.
want to do it and where you want to go with it. Like
Yeah.
that's amazing. I
And
think that's great.
I'm a manifest generator. No, I'm a
Okay.
generator, sorry. And it's human design. And
Yeah. Opportunist, hermit.
when someone showed me that, I was like, whoa. And like, I have to have satisfaction when I do things. And
Mm.
it made a lot of sense why, like, now that I feel like I'm more online than
Mm-hmm.
ever, when I do feel friction, I'm like, is it trying to teach me something or am I not in alignment? And so
Mm.
then it's like, okay, I can go deeper on that. And I'm like, we're going to just release that. We're going to make space for it or whatever it might
Mm-hmm.
be.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow. That's super cool. No, that's
yeah.
that's awesome. You know,
Isn't it
it's a process. Finding guests and doing all that is a process. We haven't been as consistent as far as like the goal is to have one a week.
Yeah.
And so there's some times there where they are one a week, and there's some
Yeah.
times there where it's just like there is nothing for like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So we just continue just as organic as we are going to. And then honestly, the guests, if there's someone that I want to talk to, like the certified health nut, I was like, I don't know if he'll be on. Like this guy's pretty well known, and I didn't even know he was like in Scottsdale or whatever. So then I said, just send him a DM. Send him a
Yeah.
DM. Next thing you know, he's like totally cool. Send me an email.
Yeah.
And I was like, boom. All right, here he was.
Cool.
Definitely an interesting episode. Check it out. He's a nut, but he has a lot of good stuff to say. The certified health nut. Now I get
Yeah.
why he's called that.
Mm-hmm.
And then other people like seen the show and like want to be on themselves or like referrals like
Yeah.
like Olanka referred you over, so here we are, which is great.
Right.
And I think we're pretty booked out now for the weeks to come.
Okay.
So and I also want to make sure it's in person because there's something to be
Oh, there's
said,
magic when you
right?
and you literally share space when you're
Yeah.
within 5 feet of someone, you're sharing energy.
Yeah.
Like scientifically proven,
Yeah.
not woo. And on your point, that's
Mm.
also a really good time to remind anyone listening that you need to hit that follow and
Mm.
subscribe button, because it's not, well, it sounds like it's getting a little bit more habitual or on schedule.
Yeah.
But for the times that it might not be, you want to make sure that this podcast shows up. So go ahead and hit that subscribe and follow button.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's go. Wait, one of those for you. Yeah, sometimes get definitely do a better job. Like, because I have nothing to sell. So like I have like I'm like,
I know. I know.
but
know.
it is what it is. The team puts up a little like subscribe, like notification bell type thing.
That's good.
But and even for me, like not until most recently, because we were only video, and then we got the audio,
Yeah.
and then we started getting the email campaigns going, and
Yeah.
so being more deliberate with it, and then changing time frames. Like Tuesdays are really good days to like launch the podcast, so now it's
Yeah.
like Tuesdays.
Yeah.
But the team, like I just record this, and they'll do everything.
I love that.
I don't do anything.
I love that. I think I only want to be on like long podcasts from now on. I love these. These are great.
It's just
These
a
are great.
it's a conversation.
I don't feel rushed or like I have to like say things succinctly. Like you can like have a thought flow. Like
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for everyone who's still watching and listening. Like, thank you.
Can you believe it? It's already an hour and 54 minutes in?
Dude, that's so cool.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey, shout out to y'all for freaking staying this long and actually going through this journey with us, because anyone who's going to actually slow down for 2 hours are
deserves
individuals.
Mm-hmm.
You're in alignment.
Yeah.
You're in alignment, and you are
for sure
very few in between. Like few far in between. There's not very many people, because everything's like 3 seconds. It's the reels, it's the short highlights, and like people don't take time to actually sit down and actually listen to something. And that's where I feel like that definitely is a big part of development.
It sounds so cliche, but if you still are here and we're talking directly to you, I want to know what your biggest takeaway was. And that sounds so salesy, but no, like for real, because we covered so much. And so if you're still listening, when you're still listening, I want to know, like post a comment, like tag us, like let us know. Because I'm always curious, like this whole thing was amazing for me. But I'm just, you're always surprised sometimes by something. You're like, oh, I don't even remember saying that. Or like, did something bless you and just like fill you up? It would make my day to get a notification and know.
Me too. You can send direct message, DM.
Yeah. We're both findable everywhere.
Everywhere. So then let's make it actual right now. What was your biggest takeaway today?
Alignment. I think alignment, and I think I really receive and appreciate the space that you asked for me to talk more about my dream, about talking on stage. I don't get an opportunity to express that as much, and I don't think I hide it, but it's hard for a lot of people to comprehend if you're not already in alignment on it or understand where I'm coming from it. So thank you for that. I think I like that. And I like knowing about just how grounded you are, and also having all these successful tentacles out there. I think that's wildly important for people to know, that you can show up here barefoot with your toenails painted, chilling, and with cookies baking with your wife and your daughter in the next room. And just that, anyone that's wanting to live that kind of life, you can live it. He's living it right now. And I think that's really important to draw attention to. So I think those two things, because that's like the real thing that people talk about. But dude, we get to live that right now.
We do.
We're living it like in the flesh.
Yeah.
Like
it's
this
amazing.
isn't theory. This is reality. This is our reality.
Yes. On a Friday, just chilling. Yeah. Let's go. On a Friday, chilling. Like.
Yeah. On Good Friday, no less.
Ooh, let's go. Easter Sunday. Yeah. It is so true. And I want to thank you, because when you asked the deeper question about the podcast, it was just like, and I wasn't even trying to get emotional. It just hit. I was like, what? I was like, wow. Like, and then there was the chills moment too. And so, you were going for like 20, 30 minutes at the beginning of the episode. And I was just like, let her go. Because I felt like you just needed to like let it out.
It was all a good forward for the rest of the conversation.
Oh my God, it was amazing. And the fact that you felt compelled and comfortable to share the story with your daughter and all the things that you went through. but it gave the context to the rest of the show,
Yeah, absolutely.
and to show people like you've been through some shit.
Yeah.
And this isn't just fluff, and this isn't just
Yeah.
some made up bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
been there, done it. Moms, dads, divorce,
Special needs,
together, special
divorce,
needs, like
business builders. Yeah.
yes, business builders, AI, the whole nine. And
Yeah.
so it's cool just to be able to hold space for you, take that time, listen, learn,
Yeah.
and then for you to hold space for me, and then for you to be able to ask me questions. And that's what I love about the podcast is that it could be a conversation on both sides. We're both hosts.
Yeah.
I mean, we both have podcasts here. So,
It's like, who's the last guest who's like, hey, don't forget to subscribe to his podcast.
I know, right? Go check out Bella's podcast and subscribe to hers as well. But no, we'll make sure the team puts all the links down below so they could like, subscribe, check you out, go on your Instagram, the whole 9 yards. I'm so glad that we had this opportunity, and I guess there's some cookies out there or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Let's go check out what's going on over there. And I'm excited for the new Insta360 for the
I can't wait to
see what happens with that.
Yeah.
And I guess until the next one.
All right, sounds good.
All right, y'all.
Keep on rising.
Keep on rising. Thank you for watching today's episode of the Liftoff Experience, as it is our intention to be able to help you have more liftoff in your life, personally, professionally, and spiritually. That's why we bring on amazing individuals and amazing episodes to be able to help you do as such. New episodes come out every single Saturday. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment below with one thing that you took away from the episode. And if you have a compelling story that you wish to share and you want to come to Phoenix, Arizona, Gilbert, Arizona specifically, to our recording studio, we'd love to have you on an episode. And a big thank you to Liftoff Agent, who does the thumbnail, writes the copy, does all the content for our show behind the scenes, as all I do is find guests, point and shoot, and have a good time. So thanks so much to Liftoff Agent team. Thank you so much for staying to the end of the episode, and just do us a favor and like, subscribe, give us your feedback so we can get this out to more individuals. And of course, you could share this with someone else that you think that should see it, because at the end of the day, we all have to help each other and serve each other to have more liftoff. And now, our YouTube channel, you can go ahead and see all of our other videos. If you're listening to this, just go to the Liftoff Experience on YouTube. And if you're watching this, then you can see on the screen that we have lots of episodes that you can take a look at and you can watch today to be able to go deeper with different subject matters to help you have more liftoff in your life. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. God bless. We'll see you all on the next one.